It's a beautiful night for baseball here at Citizens Bank Park. The sun's setting to the west. It's the longest day of the year. Full moon later on tonight as the New York Mets and the Phillies get together for the start of a 3-game weekend series. Well, Chase Utley is back off the disabled list, activated today. Everybody happy to have him back in the lineup. The Phillies have optioned Michael Martinez to Lehigh Valley to make room for Chase, who will be in the starting lineup tonight. Hi, everybody. Chris Wheeler with Gary Matthews. Tom's off tonight. An important family engagement. We'll talk a little bit about that later on. But the New York Mets are here right now to play the Phillies, Sarge. And both these teams have been kind of, well, okay for the first 3 months.
Yeah, they both actually been struggling a little bit there, not being able to have offense as well. Take a look here at the graph. You can see exactly what I'm talking about there from month to month. Phillies doing a little bit better. You can see there in May, they were right at 500. Right now, June, they're at 500. But if you're going to be able to win, you got to be able to do better than that. Now, those Mets, they haven't had a winning month since June of 2012 there, Wills. And I tell you what, they got to play a little bit better. And not only that, the Phils, if you're going to be able to win here in this division.
Well, one of the reasons they have good seasons or when they play well is their third baseman, David Wright. I know you really like this guy.
Oh, no doubt. This guy here is the real deal. He'll be their all-star player there. Take a look at some of the highlights there as he's getting ready to go deep like he did last night. He hit 2 home runs there at Turner Field. 18 there for his career as he ends up touching home plate. Take a look at it again there. This guy, you pitch a middle in and you are asking for trouble. Without a doubt, he's their best everyday player. He comes to play every day. Take a look at the career stats. All you need to look at, not only those games, but that average. 301 there, Wills. Those doubles, this guy drives in runs. He'll reach 1,000 before his career is over with. He's just a solid player, has been a solid player for a long, long time.
And unfortunately, Sarge, the Phillies are catching David Wright red hot right now. You just showed those couple home runs from last night. This guy is on fire, and he always seems to hit really well in this ballpark. Our starting pitchers tonight are Jeremy Hefner and Cole Hamels. These are two guys, when you look at their numbers, they have pitched a lot better than those records indicate. This should be a real good game tonight. Chase Utley back in the lineup for the Phillies. Everybody is looking forward to seeing this guy play again. We'll be back with the starting lineups coming up right after these messages. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. By Citizens Bank, where good banking is good citizenship. Isn't it time you experience good banking? And by Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Philadelphia Phillies. And by Independence Blue Cross. We are creating a more coordinated healthcare system that's built around you. Independence Blue Cross, changing the game. He's getting ready to play. Big news today. Chase Utley back in the lineup, and Murph, you have more on him.
Well, absolutely big news. People wanted to see Chase Utley back, and he is back tonight in that starting lineup, as you guys mentioned. Most importantly, he told reporters last night after his 2 games down in Reading that he felt 100%. It was the kind of injury that they weren't too sure about. He said when he first experienced the injury, it really scared him because he had never had that kind of injury before. They wanted to take it very slowly. They have done that, but he thinks that his 2 rehab games in Reading really tested him. He was able to swing against the lefty. He took some big swings. He reached out and dove for a ball last night, and I caught a line drive as well. So he believes he's worked that entire area. He said he had no problems whatsoever, so he is ready to go at 100%, Wills, and that certainly is good news, guys.
Yeah, Murph, that's great news just to see him back out there in the field, know that he's healthy again, be able to play, and batting second in the Phil's lineup tonight. Great to have Chase Utley back. Well, tonight's starting lineup is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. New York Mets, a really different team than we saw earlier. Eric Young, EY, is here in the lineup for them. And Daniel Murphy will bat second. David Wright, red hot. Look what he's done against Cole Hamels. Marlon Byrd, former Philly, will be in right field and hit fourth. Lucas Duda, now a first baseman here. Anthony Recker, he's a local guy. Juan Lagares will be in center field. He can really run it down. Omar Quintanilla is the shortstop, and on the mound, a right-hander the Phillies have had pretty good luck with. Jeremy Hefner and Sarge. Cole Hamels makes a start here tonight, and boy, do they want to get him straightened out.
Well, they really need to, and not only that, though, right now you're looking at his record, 2-10, but if he can even it up or even go 1 or 2 games above that, you consider that a year where you're not just throwing it away.
Yeah, just 2-10 is a scouting report on him. Nothing much has changed. He's 6-10 lifetime against the New York Mets. 1-0 this year with a win at Citi Field back in April. Ready to go with EY. Eric Young will lead it off. Eric Young Jr. Switch hitter, just over from the Rockies. And the first pitch of the game is over for strike 1 call. A fastball from Hamels. The young Murphy right. Here's some shadows out in the outfield on a beautiful night for a game. And Young pops it foul out of play. One thing you always worry about with Hamels when he goes out there and pitches, all the foul balls, so they seem to run his pitch count up.
Yeah, they've been fouling off balls. They do run that pitch count up.
It's hard to get much nicer than this.
Oh, beautiful.
Low humidity. Longest day of the year, and then a full moon later tonight. And a foul back. No balls and 2 strikes on EY.
I actually talked with his dad. His dad was elated that he was actually traded over here to the Mets. The Mets have had, about 10 leadoff hitters. So they've got this guy here. They want him to be a leadoff hitter. And he's going to get tested, but he gets a chance to see if he can do the job.
He's a switch hitter. And a line drive right at Ryan Howard. So 1 out here in the first inning. Well, it's time now for our Nissan keys to tonight's game. You want to check out the keys? Feel free. Just put down Cole Hamels. What a strange year this guy's having. And Sarge, how about cooling off David Wright?
Well, you know what? The good thing is we always see David coming in here where he's not hot. Well, now he's hot. Maybe it'll be the opposite way where he'll get cooled off a little bit.
That would be nice. There he is. Daniel Murphy, the batter, 271. He's a guy that really hits the Phillies. And he fouls that one back. Just hitting 178, though, here in the month of June as he chases a pitch out of the zone. Lifetime against Cole Hamels. He has a home run, 4 runs batted in.
Yeah, we seem to bring out some of the best in their hitters.
Shading the other way in left center with Ben Revere. Misses away. 1 ball and 1 strike. See Ben playing him over there, giving him all of right center. Murphy will use the left side of the diamond a lot and shoot balls through there. Line drives to left and left center. 1-1. And he checks this time. 2-1.
Cole throwing a lot of high pitches, and again, for me, you want to be able to get that ball down, but maybe that's that book on Murph where you want to keep that ball up high there on him. Hopefully he'll just end up hitting a high fly ball.
Swing and a miss. Good pitch by Hamels. Foul ball. We better not say Murph too much. We'll get a report all of a sudden.
Oh boy, you're right about that.
We got him on call out there tonight. Murph's already checked in with a nice report on Chase Utley back in the lineup.
He misses away, a full count.
Well, I'm sure Chase chopping at the bit to get back here and get in the lineup and start to do some things when you're sitting on the bench. Team's been losing all kind of different ways, hoping that you can get back and make the difference.
Fouled away. The Mets, when we saw them early in the year, Phillies are 5-1 against New York with 5 straight wins. Had a bunch of hitters in their lineup that took a lot of pitches. Now a lot of them are gone now. Some guys are in the minor leagues. They've moved some. They've made some changes. Terry Collins' team is very different. A lot of injuries. And he just slaps that one to left. And right there, Dominic Brown played him perfectly. 2 up and 2 down.
They're not going to generate much power. Another reason that pitch count goes up. That's a following off a really pretty good pitch. He kept that one there in play.
Looked like he had a little emergency swing on that 3-2, just trying to put it in play. Here's David Wright. Mentioned how hot he is. See what he's done in his last 10 games. As Murphy is retired for the second out. 2 homers last night. Has a .453 on base percentage. He will walk also.
Now you can go on the road and have the type of production that he has. Just a solid player.
Play him to right center. And Hamels misses low. Started with a changeup, came back with a fastball. Right, for the first few years they were in their new ballpark in New York, turned into a dead pull hitter because it was so deep out in right center. Now he's back to being David Wright, where he drives the ball the other way. Skied way up in the air towards center field. Easy play for Ben Revere, and he puts it away. A 1-2-3 first inning for Cole Hamels on just 13 pitches. Phils will lead it off. Jimmy Rollins back in the leadoff spot. Cole Hamels throwing a lot of strikes. It's time now for tonight's starting lineup, and it's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Different look tonight for the Phillies. We'll talk about it as the game goes along. Jimmy back in the leadoff spot. There's Chase Utley. Michael Young will hit third. Ryan Howard in his cleanup spot. Dominic Brown will bat fourth, play left field. Delman Young in right field. Ben Revere dropped down to number 7 tonight. Carlos Ruiz catches and bats at 8th, and on the mound his left-hander Cole Hamels, and he will face this guy, big right-hander, 6'4", 216-pound, 27-year-older out of Perkins, Oklahoma, Jeremy Hefner, the Padres' 10th round draft choice back in June of 2007. There are his numbers. The Mets are only 2-11 in his 13 starts. He's allowed 12 home run balls. Sergeant, one thing, a lot of unearned runs against this guy this year. They say he's kind of their Cole Hamels.
Yeah, a little tough luck there for sure there. You take a look at that scouting report there. Hittable pitcher there, 88-92 with that fastball. That little slider, curve, and change. So he's got all the pitches.
And Jimmy Rollins, who's walking a lot in the 3-hole. Charlie back, puts him back leading off tonight with Utley coming back and trying to do some things with the lineup to break up the left-handed hitters. And fouled away left side now to play.
Well, one of the things, though, for Jimmy, you just don't want to change what you've been doing. You want to stay right there, continue to take those walks. The only thing, though, you want to be able to do that even early on in that season and lay off those high pitches like that. He's a low ball hitter. He ends up hitting at that low pitch, he'll be much, much better and a lot more success.
15 walks in his last 23 games, 1-2 from Hefner. And he waves at a breaking ball there in the dirt. And the throw to first and in time. To go the old K2-3, and Jimmy Rollins chased a curveball there for the first out.
Yeah, coming up, almost looking those balls like a fastball, but take a look at it. That one, no, it should have been able for me again to pick up the spin. That one out of the zone all the way for me. Why we talk about so important to pick up the spin of the ball so you can determine exactly what pitch it is.
Big hand for Chase Utley. Look at those career numbers against the New York Mets. 29 home runs at 272. Chase didn't get any hits in his 2 rehab starts at Reading, so that's not the worst thing in the world. Don't leave him down there.
Yeah, well, the fact is, though, you're just trying to get yourself physically and mentally healthy, and as long as he didn't feel any pain, he figured, hey, I'll come up here and get my hits.
Hard ground ball. Duda knocks it down, and he wins the race to the bag. 2 outs. Duda just started playing over there since they sent Ike Davis down to their AAA club at Las Vegas to try and get straightened out. And he is a work in progress at first base.
Well, it was one of those positions, however. I mean, it takes time to learn to play that position and to play it well. You look at some of your better first basemen. They've had one in the past. Keith Hernandez, and one of those guys, you take a bunt, he'd throw to third or whatever base the runner was actually going. Not intimidated.
Yeah, and Ike Davis was a tremendous defensive first baseman, but offensively, they just couldn't get him going, and they thought, well, we'll send him out, see what happens. Michael Young, the batter. Michael's been red hot lately. He's a .433 lifetime hitter against the New York Mets. See there with 5 home runs. It's one of the things that Charlie did with the lineup tonight, to bat him third.
Yeah.
And to break up Utley and Howard, and Brown follows. That's left, and then they go Delman Young right, and then Revere is going to hit 7th. It's grounded weakly to short. Quintanilla to throw to first, and a 1-2-3 inning for Jeremy Hefner. What a beautiful night for a game here at Citizens Bank Park. No score after 1. Afternoon at 4:05, the Phils and the Mets, and Model Sporting Goods. Kids run the bases. after the ball game. And then Sunday at 1:35, IBEW Local 98 Cliff Lee T-shirt free to fans 14 and under. You can order your tickets now at Phillies.com. Marlon Byrd will lead it off, former Phillies draft pick a number of years ago, and a nice resurgence for Marlon this year as he skies one to deep center field. And right there is Ben Revere, just the way the first inning ended. The second begins with a towering fly ball, one away. But during the 2013 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Graham Slam ice cream sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. Nice to see Cole Hamels get an out on one pitch, huh?
Yeah, well, you know what? He's around the plate a little bit more still. I think he needs to get that ball down just some.
And he gets that one down and on the outside corner to Lucas Duda, batting 5th in the lineup.
You just want to be in that habit of throwing those low strikes. That's how you get ground balls and less damage, even if the hitter hits the ball hard.
Duda just 1 for 12 lifetime with 7 strikeouts. This guy walks a lot. He has 36 walks this year. Has tremendous power, and he's been an outfielder for them to get his bat in the lineup. Now with Ike Davis at AAA trying to find his stroke, he's their first baseman.
Yeah.
Swinging and a miss.
There's that consistency that I talk about. I mean, you can get to the major leagues. Not going to say that it's easy. The hard part, being able to stay in that lineup daily or stay in that major leagues.
And Hamels ahead of him, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Breaking ball missed.
You get sit down after you've been in the major leagues. You got to have the right mindset if you're going to be able to come back or even have a good year or start to drive the ball. And he has it in him in Ike Davis, but you know, a lot of people have gone through that, or players, I should say.
And there's a shot at Dominic Brown we just saw. And there's a guy that's had his ups and downs.
Good point. You know, kind of found himself. Needs to get back to that short swing and think about hitting the ball up the middle.
Just missed with a 2-2 changeup, so a full count to Duda. We mentioned how he will run deep counts and walk a lot. 3-2 on the way, and he works a walk. His 37th walk of the year. 1 out base runner, first base runner for either team tonight here early in the second inning. And that will bring up Anthony Recker, starting his 13th game this year. He's also played for Oakland and the Cubs, and he's from Catasauqua, Pennsylvania. Oh, guy maybe grew up a Phillies fan or possibly a Mets or Yankees fan in that part of the country. And Catasauqua, not that far from Philadelphia.
Sure, he's got some family members that would be here, and probably also going to see him play with the Mets.
He doesn't play a whole lot because of John Buck, but they just got finished a grueling 5-game series in Atlanta. The Mets won 3 out of 5 down there, but in that series they played till 1:23 in the morning and then started again the next day, or the same day, a day-night doubleheader at 1:05. 2 more games and got into Philadelphia after 3 o'clock this morning. Strike on the outside corner.
Well, that was a huge series, obviously, for them. Fighting Fields end up picking up some ground. Could have picked up a little more ground, however, wasn't to be. So you start off again by trying to win the series. First game of the series, most important.
Good changeup. Yeah, they let that one get away the other night, no doubt about it. You're down to 2 outs and 2 strikes, or 2 outs and not able to get it done. The young umpire DJ Rayburn is behind the plate. Bill Welke at first. Adrian Johnson second base. This is Field and Culbert's crew. He is at third. The umpire on vacation not here tonight is Brian O'Nora. Rayburn taking his place. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hit well to right center field. Revere, a good jump. He's there. And 2 outs. Well, Hamels throwing some fly balls tonight. That's 3 already for Ben.
I know that Sam Wells has been working with all the outfielders and getting those jumps. And, you know, even when things go bad, they talk about that in the game. They don't wait until the next day. Hey, you got to catch that ball. Hey, you got to get a better jump. And I think really for me, that's the easiest way to learn, to talk about it right there, especially, and Juan knows how to do it where he's not embarrassing the player in front of everyone, and it's just going to benefit their team in order for them to win. Better jumps for Ben.
Here's Juan Lagares playing in center field. Do you like somebody to talk to you during the game when something went wrong?
If I'm hitting, like if I'm pulling off my pulling off the ball, or hey, stay in there, or oh yeah.
Lagares takes a strike call. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, base runner. Lucas Duda at first. He is not a good runner, to say the least. Tom Goodwin, the coach over there. All he could say to him is, don't get picked off.
Yeah. Well,
he's not going anywhere. Good changeup. Gets ahead of him 1-2. They have had 8 guys play center field this year. Lagares is the latest one to take over. He can really run it down. They even had Rick Ankiel here for 17 games between the times the Phillies saw the Mets last, after he was let go by Washington. Colin Cowgill also played out there, and he's gone. So they're trying to find somebody to play center field for them. There goes Duda. Throw to second. He's out at second base. I guess they figure, well, we'll start with a fresh count with Lagares next inning.
First movement.
Yep, 2 outs and 2 strikes. And Chooch throws him out, and that'll end the inning. There you go. Good look at it right here. He fires out of there, and Carlos Ruiz is back behind home plate for the Phillies. And you know he's going to do a good job. For them, and it's starting out that way tonight. It's early, bottom of the second inning, and it's time now for our Geico quote of the day, and this one comes from Ryan Howard. We're not out of it by any means. I think if we get hot, continue to build, then the next thing you know, hey, we're right there. We've always been kind of a second half team. We need to try to end the first half with some momentum and try to take that momentum into the second half. He's always a positive guy, Sarge, so I guess you kind of expect that from him, huh?
Yeah, I'd like him to say when we get hot as opposed to if we get hot. But they need this guy here to drive that ball, start hitting it the way he's capable of hitting it.
And a big overshift for him. He's 3 for 3 with an RBI in his at-bats against Jeremy Hefner.
The other thing is, too, though, I mean, if they're not pitching to you, go on and take your walks.
That ball's hammered to right center field, and it's going to go all the way to the wall. Lagares can't get to it. Ryan Howard will coast into second with his 19th double of the year. He is now 4 for 4 against Jeremy Hefner.
Wow. Coming almost right at him. Over the top. Little fastball. Howard's problem there really is only swinging at bad pitches. That went up just a little bit. Don't want to swing at it any higher than that. Automatic double, though, once it gets past that center fielder.
Well, before that at bat, in his last 9 games, Ryan hitting at .406 with 7 runs batted, and he has been swinging the bat really well now in the last 10 games. Here's Dominic Brown, who's up there to pull the ball and get him over to third. And he does, and gets more out of it. That's down the line for extra bases. Howard will score easily. Dominic Brown with an RBI double. His 50th run batted in, and the Phils take a quick 1-0 lead.
Well, I still think this kid has an outside chance to make that all-star game there. He did go into a little bit of a slump. That ball there smoked, doing the right job, trying to get that runner over, and this is what happens. You end up getting a little bonus there as that ball goes right down the line. Once that kicks off the railing, take a look at this. It's going to hit that railing, and then once it hits the railing, it's all up to Brown. He knew he could get there.
Mentioned Ryan Howard, 4 for 4. Well, Dominic Brown is now 3 for 3 with a home run and 5 RBIs off Jeremy Hefner.
Well, maybe this is the guy they needed to see.
Those two guys. Dominic snapping an 0 for 8. Delman Young nails one to right field. It's in for a hit. Brown got a late start. They'll have to hold it. Bird throws back into second base. So nobody out and runners at the corner. The guy gets a late start like that. First thing the third base coach sees is, I don't have a runner that looks like he can score.
Well, 2 things on that for me. You want to check out that where the defense is playing you. Therefore, you don't have to look. See how Brown, now he's looking to see whether or not he's going to catch it. Now, when I go around that, and if I see that throw going to second, I'm going in. I'm hauling right in the home because you see the ball, the play's developing right in front of you. Take a look at it. It got down by plenty. Should have been on his way in there for me just because that ball wasn't where he was trying to shoestring it. But better safe than sorry.
Yeah, when you get that late a jump. Here's Ben Revere. 317 in his last 41 games. Ben has a 10-game hitting streak right now where he's hit 391. Mets will play it up at the corners, back at double play depth in the middle.
Well, they got to scratch out another run here. You would hope some kind of way.
And that'll get him home. Going to step on second, throw to first, safe at first. Phillies lead 2-0. Ben Revere picks up RBI number 9 on the season as he beats that baby out so they can't double him.
That's what that speed will do for you.
That's when the third base coach takes a deep breath, too, because he knows he made the right decision not sending him there. But then you're sitting there thinking, oh, somebody please get him in.
Yeah, well, you know, that ground ball, and that's a situation. I mean, if you have to, you'll take that double play for the RBI. In this particular case, Ben's there. He beats it out. He has a good chance of maybe still a base.
Carlos Ruiz, the batter. First pitch is fouled into the camera deck down there, down the left field line. That's the reason Charlie talked about it before the game started. He wanted to break up the left-handed hitters, but he also said, all right, I hit Revere 7. Then he has a chance to run down here at the bottom of the order, maybe make something happen.
Yeah, you can run there, and Chooch, too, is the type of hitter you can hit with 2 strikes. I like that Ben started to stretch it out a little bit more with that lead.
And a quick move over.
Still getting back easy. Well, the rule of thumb is at least try and get that foot near the cutoff, at least that front foot. You can see that he got back pretty easy on that. And you just get a better jump there. A lot of those throws where it's bang, bang, he would be able to be safe.
Breaking ball in the dirt. Good block there by Recker. Well, the Lucky McDonald's Philly home run jackpot contestant tonight is Alice Patton of Pittsgrove, New Jersey. Phillies hit a home run in the game. Alice will win $100. So I hope we can send that your way at some point. Ground ball, base hit in the hole to left field, just past David Wright. Revere will stop at second, give Cole Hamels a chance now to maybe bunt him over.
Yeah, that's the correct play for me, to have him bunt it over and base hit and get you 2 more runs. Good start there for Chooch. Got in on him a little bit as he gets it right through the hole. David Wright diving, but to no avail.
Cole has 3 sacks on the year. He'll probably be up there to try it again. David Wright giving the signs to his infielders. 2 for 24 in the year. Lifetime with 1 career home run coming off San Francisco in a game here last year. Jeremy Hefner has to think, here we go again against the Phillies. Cole gets it down. Nice job. Only 1 play to first. Murphy covers, sack 1-4. And the runners move into scoring position for Jimmy Rollins.
He actually was breaking right toward that line. Cole bunting it more toward the pitcher. Anytime you can get him over, wherever you bunt that ball is a good job, period. You know, yeah, ideally you like it to be down the third base line, but the most important thing is just to get the runner over.
Right, he got it on the ground in a hurry too, which really has to help the runners. They don't pause at all. Ruiz at second, Revere at third with 2 outs for Rollins, who struck out on a breaking ball his first time up. Charlie Manuel talked about the pitcher bunting in front of Rollins coming up. For more of that, here's Murph.
Well, you know what, Wills, guys talking about the lineup, and, he obviously had many different ideas of how he was going to put his lineup together when Chase Utley came back. But he did talk about, as you said, Wills, putting Ben Revere in that 7 spot and using his speed in certain situations down there. And talked about Chooch hitting behind him and a guy that's going to, get on base in Carlos Ruiz. But also in the exact situation you just saw, with 1 out, your pitcher's up there with 2 guys on, moving those guys over and letting the top of the lineup knock the runs in. So that's exactly what Charlie was hoping this lineup would produce. And it's up to Jimmy to do it right now.
Well, having heard him talk today, he put a lot of thought into this lineup, Murph.
He really did, and he's been thinking about it for about a week. Ever since the talk of Chase coming back, he's been toying with different ideas. Most importantly, as you guys pointed out earlier, he didn't want those 3 lefties altogether, and he was able to break them up in the middle of the lineup. And so far, so good in getting lefty righty kind of thing working tonight.
Jimmy ahead in the count, 2-1. And a ground ball when Murphy is right there. Oh, he boots it. Throws to first. Safe. Error on Daniel Murphy, who does struggle at second base. He can swing the bat, but he has his problems out there sometimes. And Jimmy Rollins beats it out just barely. That'll be 3-0 now in favor of the Phillies. No RBI on the play, but the run's on the board.
Well, when you have that speed, it will put a little pressure on you. Planting the pull as he takes a couple of steps over. Take a look as it hits him right in the beginning of that glove. Usually that ball will hit you there in the hills. He's running from the get-go all the way. Then he turns it back on, making sure that he was safe.
Yeah, he knows he better be safe on that one. As deep as Murphy was. Charlie Greer said, better beat that out.
Yeah, well, just, again, if it's, that should be a play, however. I mean, the second baseman should be able to make that. But this is why you always hustle. You give that 100% because you never can tell when a ground ball will be booted.
Right, and that picks up a run for you. Gives Chase Utley a shot at this guy. Phillies off to a quick 3-0 lead. Takes a curveball for ball 1. Fastball, slider, curveball, changeup from Hefner, who lost 7-3 to the Phillies here on April the 10th. He only went 3 innings in that game. Gave up 5 earned runs, including a 3-run home run by Dominic Brown. Mets have made a lot of errors behind this guy. Grounded foul first base side. Quite a few unearned runs against him. One of the reasons why they're 2-11 in his 13 starts this year. Murphy plays really deep on a lot of hitters because he doesn't have much range. And he just tried to hurry that play.
Well, it wasn't like he had to range all the way over to second base. Took a couple steps. Yeah, he was planning the pull, but it took just a couple steps over.
He's back in the outfield grass right now for Utley, who rips a foul. Look out down the right field line.
Boy.
That's one of those things you'll do when your timing's not quite right.
Well, that'll test your oblique. He turns on that.
And that'll test somebody's coordination down the right field line, too. Hopefully everybody's okay down there.
Yeah, well, the Met fan ends up getting him the ball. That's why you heard a few boos. But we don't mind them coming here, and you can get whatever balls you can.
And he gives it to a Phillies fan. Good move.
Yeah.
1-2 on Chase. Now time is called. Phillies with a 3 spot here in the second inning. One of them is unearned. Anything else in this inning would be unearned. Carlos Ruiz at third. Jimmy Rollins over at first base.
Cole Hamels got to feel like it's Christmas here, getting 3 runs early in the ball game.
Yeah, really. Tried to backdoor him there and missed. 2-2.
And yes, it is on his mind, like it would be, I mean, any pitcher.
Well, in his last 3 starts now, the Mets have allowed 8 unearned runs, and with a chance for more here in this inning. Well, Hefner has really been plagued by poor defense. Quick move to first, Jimmy back.
That's why when we talk about pitching, I mean, it's just very difficult to judge pitching if you don't have good defense. And that means from the infield and outfield, guys able to run the ball down.
Swing and a foul tip held on to by Record, a strikeout. But the Phils have a 3 spot on the board here in the second inning. Cole Hamels has some breathing room. Stump the Fans trivia question. Just log on to Phillies.com, go to the fans section for all the information, and please, Sarge, as Tom says to me all the time, Wheels, submit your answer on the subject line. The question is,
sure,
who was the first Mets player ever to start an All-Star game in 1964? And the answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. And I know the answer because I just read it. Well, you'll know the guy. Lagares, who was at home plate when Duda was thrown out to end the second inning, will lead it off again, and Cole Hamels gets it over for a strike. Starts him with a changeup on the outside part of the plate. Cole with a 3-run lead here. It's only the 3rd, and that has to feel good for him. Phillies up to the start tonight had scored 31 runs in his 15 starts while he was still in the game, not counting the 3 tonight. Getting ahead of another hitter, 1-2. Using fastball, cutter, changeup, little curveball once in a while. 2-2. And the pitch outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes now on Lagares, who got to start with a fresh count after the throw out at second base. He's batting 7th. Omar Quintanilla will bat next, and then the pitcher Hefner. 7, 8, 9. Fly ball, another fly ball. This one shallow left field. Who wants it? Ben Revere, Dominic Brown. Revere makes another play, 1 away.
Center fielder always has the call.
Well, congratulations to Tom and Meg McCarthy, and the graduation today of their son Patrick from Allentown High School. Tom has a night off, much deserved. That's a big boy, isn't he?
Oh boy, Patrick will be going to Syracuse University, and you can see Tom all smiles.
He's already started trash talk me a little bit about the game between Syracuse and Penn State on the 31st of August.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's good.
That's all you need, huh?
That's fun. Yeah, another McCarthy. Right?
Oh, boy.
Wise guy.
Yeah.
Well, Tom, Meg, congratulations. That will be a great night for you guys, and have fun. Tommy, we'll see you tomorrow. We'll miss you.
Make sure you have the right shirt on, Tommy.
Quintanilla fouls it out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, so far tonight, 6 fly ball outs, though, for Cole Hamels. None of the guys able to square any of those balls up. And it's been mostly on that fastball. Not that they've been out in front of him. So that tells me he has a good live fastball so far tonight.
Yeah, he's had a good fastball all year. That's the thing about him. People say, what's wrong with him? Well, the first thing you say, well, you know he's not hurt.
Yeah.
Because his stuff has been tremendous.
Yeah, he's had good stuff. Bad location at times. And let's just face it, the offense have let him down at times. And so has that defense. But you got to keep plugging.
And he gets involved in some weird innings, too. Broken bats. Quintanilla strikes out. 2 up and 2 down here as Cole throws a really good changeup. Well, tonight is African American Heritage Night, presented by the Sounds of Philadelphia. Some awards tonight to Evelyn Champagne King and Bunny Sigler, among some of the others that received awards here. And what a great night with that great music, Gamble and Huff. And the Sound of Philadelphia, very distinctive sound. It's had you tapping your toe all night.
Yeah, I trying to get in, sing a few bars. Got to make sure that you sing when Mike's not on, by the way.
You were good. Pop-up foul, Ryan Howard near the dugout. May have room, and he does. 3 up and 3 down go the New York Mets. That's your old shutdown inning, Sarge.
Oh, yeah. I like those.
TSOP here at Citizens Bank Park. What a great sound. Hey, visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. By Citizens Bank, where good banking is good citizenship. Isn't it time you experience good banking? And by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, Let's go places. 3-0 Phillies. We go to the bottom of the third inning. Chris Wheeler along with Gary Sarge Matthews, Tom McCarthy. Well, he's having a little party tonight. Son Patrick graduating today from high school. We've been through a few of them, huh?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Michael Young, a fly ball to right field, fairly well hit. We'll go to the warning track. Marlon Byrd, plenty of room, puts it away, 1 out. For weeknights on PHL 17, it's the Big Bang Theory. Don't miss when beauties and the brains come together for a full hour of laughs, love, and of course, video games. It's all on Philly's #1 comedy, The Big Bang Theory. Weeknights right here on PHL 17 at 7. Ryan Howard got the Phillies' 3-run second starter with a leadoff double. His 19th of the year, now 4 for 4 lifetime, off Jeremy Hefner. Has a big, tall, long armor. Throws mostly fastball slider. Mixes in curveball, changeup.
No doubt for Howard being able to move off the plate. It's made him see that inside pitch a little bit better. Although he'll be vulnerable for that pitch that's on the outside, and especially low and away, because it'll appear like it's a ball, or you just can't reach it.
When he tries to check and can't.
That's
1-2.
Yeah, that's a pitch there again. Knowing your strike zone, you're not going to even hesitate, because you know not only you're picking up the slider spin on it where it started, you know that it's a ball.
They're still playing him towards left center, even though he doubled to right center his first time up. Continue to play the percentages. And that ball is fouled down the first baseline. Ryan Howard, when he pulls a ball on the ground, or when he hits a ball on the ground, it's normally to the right of second base. When he hits the ball in the air, it goes to the left of second base, and that's why you see this defense.
Yeah, all the charts will prove that out when you look at them, all the hitting charts, and it's just that way.
Two and two.
And it's okay to hit like he's doing. He just needs a better eye in doing it. He did it earlier in his career. He got up on the plate, then he had to move back off the plate, and hitting is a game of you got to make adjustments.
And a fly ball to center field, hit pretty well, but Lagares has a beat on it, runs it down 2 away.
Boy, just missed it.
His breaking ball, and he got out front a little bit. Here's Dominic Brown. Sarge said, play the game the right way. Sometimes you get more out of it. Tried to pull the ball to get him over to third. He pulled it past Duda into the corner for a double. And the Phillies were on the board 1-0. Added a couple more. Now lead 3-0.
He almost got that to hug that line and go all the way down to that 330.
Delman Young did it too. As a base hit to center field, he is now 4 for 4 off Hefner, who finally got Ryan Howard out. Well, this Sunday at the 1:35 Phils Mets game, the Ball Girls will be conducting a halfway to the holidays toy drive to benefit local Delaware Valley charitable organizations, including PAL. Fans coming to the game are encouraged to bring new unwrapped toys to donate for the cause. Collections will take place at all the Citizens Bank Park entrance gates. Base stealers, only 3 of them so far this year off Hefner. They're 1 for 3. Times wise, he's 1.7 to 1.38. So he's kind of in that area where he's not real easy to run on. Maybe you pick a curveball, you have a good chance. His times to be that good, though. He's kind of a long armor.
Yeah. Pretty quick with his bottom half.
He said he does use a slide step. I haven't seen too much of that yet. 1 ball and 1 strike on Delman. He singled to right his first time up. Why does this guy hit the ball the other way so much?
Well, he's got that inside out type swing. Almost the same way that you look at Michael Young. I mean, he's forcing the ball, kind of the other way. A lot of times hitters would use that if he gets a hold of that one just a little bit, or just missing it.
Yeah, right off the end of the bat on a breaking ball, and he flies out to center fielder Lagares. No runs, a hit, and one left. We're through 3 on a really nice night for a game. Phil's leading. B. Mason, same day service can't be thrown out. Call by 11:30 and your order is delivered that same afternoon. Who but WB Mason? A little girl on a really nice night here, the longest day of the calendar year.
Beautiful tonight.
Very low humidity. Cole Hamels allowed 1 base runner so far tonight. That was a walk with 1 out in the second inning to Lucas Duda, erased on a caught stealing. So at the top of the order now again for Eric Young. EY Jr. And that ball's laced to left field. Brown plays it off the top of the wall. Young on his way to second, and he has a sliding double to lead off the 4th inning. The first hit tonight for the New York Mets.
Well, it was a clean one, almost getting out of here as that ball kind of goes off the wall there. Boy, that one there, he got it right near the belt area, a little bit low. Take a look as it goes off that little fence there. That's one of the reasons it didn't bounce all the way back. If it had I got to tell you, Dominic might have had a little chance at it. Got a good arm out there for a left fielder.
Young's 10th double of the year. Only his 2nd hit now in a Mets uniform. Just came over here. Started the season with the Rockies. Well, Murphy will try to get him over. He lined to left his first time up.
Yeah, well, what Young gives them is some speed, which they need.
And Hamels trying to make it a little tougher for him to maybe pull the ball, move him over, misses with 2 fastballs away. Murphy's another guy who'll walk a lot and take pitches.
Well, that's what pitchers will do. I mean, they know you're trying to pull the ball, so what they'll do, throw something on the outside part of the plate and hope that you can't pull it. See where Chooch is. Good pitch.
Yeah, there he gets a fastball right on the corner, 2-1, and Murphy does a nice job there and not doing anything with it but taking it.
Well, he can afford to do that. He's ahead in the count. You know, he can be a little bit more selective.
He throws it in the same spot. Late swing. What he was trying to do with that. That looked like that emergency swing he had with 2 strikes.
He was just trying to hit it, and he wasn't going to pull it with that swing. That ball would have been going into left field.
Well, he's thrown all 4 pitches almost in the same spot. And Hamels just takes a look. Normally guys don't try to steal third with nobody out to give the guy a chance to get him over, but don't forget about it. Young has 8 stolen bases in 12 attempts this year. He goes right out there again and misses.
Just off The corner needed a little bit closer.
5 fastballs all away. David Wright waits on that. You don't want him to come up with a couple men on, so get after Murphy here. It's the 4th full count for Hamels, and he fouls it off. Fly ball left field. Brown near the line, and he runs out of room. Did the fan reach out for that?
I think the fan actually caught the ball, believe it or not, in the stands.
Well, that's a great play. I don't know whether he reached out into fair territory or not. No call by the third base umpire, Field and Culbreth. So great catch by that kid. Way to go.
Well, I think that ball there was tailing as it's. You can see Brown sliding. Whether or not it would have gone on the field or not, pretty difficult to see, and it was the second kid actually catching the ball.
I couldn't tell whether there was a potential for fan interference. They have to make sure, though, that the fielder was going to catch it. It's hard to tell when a guy goes into a slide.
Oh, no doubt.
And another foul, so Murphy giving Hamels a tough at bat here.
Well, and again, that's how you get that pitch count up. Not being able to put him away. 3-2 there. He got another fastball on the outside part of the plate. Ended up fouling that one off.
See the at bat right now, and that's 9 foul balls so far tonight. Got him. Struck him out on a changeup after all those fastballs. Comes with a 3-2 changeup and got him.
Filthy.
Well, time now for our Mazda leaders. Let's take a look at the Mazda leaders. And David Wright, 1,500 hits with one team active players, and 2 of them are here tonight, Sarge.
Oh, without a doubt there. That Jeter, though, looking at David Wright, his numbers, Jimmy Rollins, I mean, I tell you, it's going to almost be hard to keep him out of that Hall of Fame if he doesn't get injured these next few years. He's going to have some numbers.
Numbers are going to be tremendous. You have to watch Young now with 1 out, and that's what Hamels does. He spins around. Take a look at him. More likely to try and steal third since they didn't get him over. That was a tremendous at bat by Murphy. A good pitch by Cole to get him. David Wright goes after the first pitch and a swing and a miss at a fastball.
Well, you can tell David's been using this bat a pretty long time. When you take a look at that pine tar on it, starts to cake up. Looks like he's cleaned it up there just a little bit.
Well, if it's the same bat as last night, which it probably is.
Oh, there's no doubt.
2 homers.
Yep.
Tries to get in on him, misses 1-1.
Yeah, those are the kind of bats you don't use in batting practice and don't want anyone else picking that bat up. There's that pine tar I'm talking about.
The players used to talk all the time about make sure the pitchers stay away from your bat.
Oh, they would grab your bat in a heartbeat and take it up there, batting practice, crack it, put it right back in the batter's rack.
Here's a 1-1. Hard ground ball. It's in the hole for a base hit. They're going to wave Young around. Brown's throw is late. Oof. And David Wright, the red-hot David Wright, fights that off and gets himself a base hit and an RBI, his 39th of the year. It's 3-1, Phils.
Tell you what, Young not getting a very good jump there, and he made that relatively easy. That just shows you that speed that this kid has. His thing will be whether or not he's going to be able to hit enough. Fastball there, he gets the bat head right on it. A little unorthodox the way he does it, but that's clean right in the hole. You can see Dominic playing back a little bit too deep, but you have to with David Wright. He does have power. See Young coming in, sliding in your pitcher.
Carlos Ruiz did a great job on that. The throw was low enough, I guess, that David Wright saw that and decided, well, I can't go to second, and then he did a good job trapping that thing so he couldn't advance.
Yeah.
Keep the double play in order. Marlon Byrd, a fly ball to center his first time up.
Well, more than likely, when it's a low throw, you're not going to go because it freezes the runner. and he can't tell exactly where that ball is actually going. If it's high, he can read it and then take off and go to second.
That's why they tell you guys to hit the cutoff man if you can, or at least keep it down there. That's really one of those little things in a game. We'll see if it has any effect. But you have the double play in order now, as opposed to Wright moving into scoring position. And Marlon Byrd will hit into some double plays. He's having a terrific year for them.
Well, he's picked himself up, I can tell you, with those 11 home runs, 33 RBIs.
Guy holds his hands as low as Marlon Byrd. What's the idea in that?
Well, he's got to be a strong hitter. I'd like to see your hands more in that hitting position and up a little bit more. But when a hitter is having success, I mean, you don't move him. You don't change him. You let him go right there. And if he has problems, then you tinker with it some. But as long as he's hitting it, you just let him go.
Grounded to short. Jimmy's right there. There's one. Throw to first. Not in time. Not a double play ball. Pretty slowly, but they almost could take advantage of the fact that Wright hadn't moved up. 2 outs.
Well, one good thing, too, you know that, I mean, Marlon does have a good speed. But that ball just too slow as he hits it off the end. But what I like about that little transfer there, though, by Utley, being able to go through and take all those. And boy, did he take a hit on that. That's playing the game the way it should be.
Sure. Good clean slide. That's the first ground ball out tonight for Cole Hamels. Talked about how busy the outfielders have been.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that is.
Needs more ground ball outs for sure.
Here's Duda. He had a long at bat his first time up and walked. 37th walk on the year for Lucas Duda. Is a very patient hitter. Yeah, those ground ball outs are good, especially get them early. Cliff Lee does it a lot. Kendrick, Kyle did it the other night.
Yeah, and then when they're hitting too many of those fly balls, you get it in the wrong spot, you can end up having a little bit of trouble. Yeah, it looked to be a pretty good pitch.
They threw him a changeup there, and it was a ball, 2-0, and Duda heading the count again. Good spot, 2-1. One on the major league scoreboard. E.J. LeMahieu's 1 for 2 with an RBI, and the Rockies with a 1-0 lead over the Nationals, who beat Roy Oswalt last night. Oswalt returning to the major leagues.
Wow.
Strike 2 call. Well, his pitches are all close, and now it's 2-2. Michael Kadire, by the way, with a 19-game hitting streak for the Rockies. See Rayburn getting a little heat from the dugout.
Cole so far tonight's been pumping that fastball, especially on the outside part of the plate.
Base set up. No, it isn't. Jimmy Rollins with an unbelievable play. Lucas Duda, we talked about it earlier, doesn't run very well. And once Jimmy got to it, he throws him out. I apologize. That was not a base hit.
Hey, I've been there. Larry Boyle picked me one day where I fit my helmet, hit up the middle as he turns. I don't know if he had a strong arm as this, but I got to tell you, what a super play by just a super player there. Unbelievable. And he's got something to throw with, as you can see him pulling him out.
by Mazda. We believe it's not worth driving if it's not worth building. And by the Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Oh, does that look good? Bulls Barbecue. That is good eating down there, son.
Well, you know, all you got to do is just walk on around that corridor. You can get whatever you want over there.
Ben Revere, good bunt. And thrown away by the catcher, Anthony Recker. Backed up by Murphy. Revere, head first slide. Base hit, an arrow in the catcher, and Phillies in business here with Ben Revere at second base and nobody out.
Oh, boy.
And Sarge, that's an 11-game hitting streak now for Revere.
Well, he's been doing a job in being able to get on base. That's what they want him to do. A little different position in that 7th spot. Pitcher perfect. Don't know if they would have had him. And that's what the speed does to you, though. It will make you rush throws there. Not your average runner that is running. Gets that single in an error, I'm sure, but boy.
Well, so far so good with Ben Revere in the 7-hole. And Murph, you have a little more on what Charlie was talking about having hit there.
Well, you know what, Wheels? We saw that for the very first time in Minnesota. And then Charlie was asked about what Ben Revere can bring to the lineup. And that's it. He kept using the word talent. He showed his talents. And that is hitting the ball on the ground, putting down the bunts, and using his speed. And that can make things happen. That's what Charlie Manuel wants to see out of Ben Revere. He saw just then.
Yeah, now you have a situation whether do you try to get him over with a pitcher coming up or not? What do you think?
No, absolutely not. You're going to try and drive this run in.
And Chooch takes a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike.
No, late in the ball game, if it's tied and you know there's a chance for a pinch hitter, absolutely. But for right now, he wants to be strong with his at bat and try and drive that ball and just get himself a good pitch if you can.
And he fouls that away, right side, out of play.
Now, one of the things, too, boy, when you look at this club and veteran ball club, you put Chooch back in the lineup, you put Utley back here in the lineup, it's a different ball club. You know, and the opposition, too, they don't know these guys haven't been doing all those things, so they're going to pitch them and play them accordingly.
It's a lot more versatile. And Carlos fouls another one off. That was scored an error on the catcher, and of course a bunt single for Carlos Ruiz, a second error for the Mets tonight. Phillies now with 6 hits, the Mets with 2.
He gave him a straight error all the way?
No, and the bunt hit. Yeah.
Okay. You say at home, usually you get the benefit of the doubt on those.
Chases a high pitch and still 1-2.
He continues to try and hit that ball the other way.
Well, Hamels is a pretty good hitting pitcher, but you know they're going to bring the infield in if he gets him over to third. That's why I was just curious what your thinking is on that.
Well, I mean, the way that Carlos hits, I'd like to see him drive that ball, you know, going for the base hit. You know, if he gets it out or makes it out to the right side, okay, that's fine. But, you know, you're trying to stay up the middle.
And a foul tip held on to by Recker for a strikeout. Ruiz thinks it may have hit the ground.
I don't know.
Well, the stars aligned for the 2013 Major League Baseball All-Star Game as the best of the American League take on the National League's top players. Don't miss the action Tuesday, July 16th at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Fox. And that game, of course, will be played at Citi Field in New York this year. Cole Hamels got a bunt down last time, his 4th sack of the year.
The slide piece out in front of it, or change up. Didn't hit the dirt, however. I think if Carlos goes back and look at it, you'll see it was caught.
And as a catcher, that's the first thing you do. You spin around and take a look because you know what that's like.
Yep.
And he didn't act, you know, whether or not he thought he fouled it or not. There was no doubt in the home plate umpire's mind, DJ Rayburn, that ball was fouled. He did the slap on his hand, and then he held on to it.
Yeah, it was fouled, but it didn't hit the dirt. It didn't appear to hit the dirt from that angle anyway.
1-1 on Cole. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
So he's pitching Cole just like a regular hitter. Fastball on the hands, come back with a nice changeup.
Almost 2 for 24 on the year. No extra base hits. And here they come back inside again, as you were saying, Sarge. 2-2.
Yeah. He's a pretty good hitter. I mean, he's a good athlete. Let's face it.
Well, those outfielders are really shallow in left and center to try and cut down Ben Revere. Playing him shallow on the offside, a little deeper and right with Marlon Byrd. Oh. And he comes in with strike 3 called to him on a breaking ball. So as you say, pitch him like a hitter, 2 outs. Hamels walked away because he wants that pitch too when he goes back out there.
Yeah, well, a lot of times pitchers won't argue at all on the location of the strike, but they sure will look out there if they're on the mound and they don't get that pitch that they were called out on.
So now 2 outs and Revere at second base and play him mostly straight away. It's strange where they're playing him with a center fielder. Breaking ball low. Normally, as you see where Lagares is in center, now he can fly, so maybe they're not going to overshift too much with him. But normally the center fielder's well over towards left center on Revere or on Rollins. Watch that Lagares play on TV a few times, and he can really run. You don't have a center fielder like that.
No.
You may not have to overshift a whole lot.
Yeah, he can play serious defense. Again, they don't know whether or not he's going to be able to sustain himself in that hitting category.
Jimmy chases that curveball again. Yeah, some teams will play Jimmy to pull. Some will play him the other way. It depends.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Every pitcher can't always put that ball exactly where he wants from the left or the right side. So that has a lot to do with the defensive play. That's why the Atlanta Braves for all those years were so good in winning those championships. Those pitchers, you know, Smoltz, Glavine, Maddox could throw that ball exactly where they want it.
Comes up high, 2-2.
Same way they had in Baltimore when Palmer and those guys were pitching, and
Flanagan, McGregor,
Blair in center field catching everything, winning Gold Gloves because his pitchers would put that ball in certain spots.
Oh, good eye by Jimmy Rollins. Just missed away, 3-2.
Eagle eye.
Tried a backdoor breaking ball to him. There's Chase Utley on deck.
Eagle eye on that pitch. I mean, that'll get a lot of hitters to swing at.
See if he'll throw that hook in the dirt now that he chased first time up. With the base open. May not give in. Pokes it. David Wright, an unbelievable play. He'll bounce it over. Safe at first is Jimmy Rollins, but Wright just saved the run.
Boy, I tell you what. You talk about a guy smelling a base hit. J-Ro hit that ball on the ground. Didn't even look, and I mean, really wanted it. Going the other way, take a look at it. And once he dived, he tried to get it to skid, but that was like more of a 2-hopper that he threw over there. Usually that 1 hop will skid and go kind of all the way there. Ben Revere looking. No chance, however, whatever throw you were, to get J-Ro on that play.
And David Wright's laughing about it, too, that he threw it right into the ground. And that's not going to get over there real fast. Skid or no skid. But he did save a run.
No doubt.
And now runners at the corners for Chase. He's grounded out hard to first and struck out. Jimmy Rollins thinks about running here. And a breaking ball for a strike. Utley thought it was low, maybe outside. Says something to Rayburn.
Well, I tell you, when those guys come back, I mean, you have Utley there, you got Chooch there. Just gives everybody a lift. Those guys, though, that come in, what you want to do, you want to be able to come in and contribute. You know, you just don't want to go in and bring the club down, and you contribute with hits, good defensive plays, and smart base running.
Two good base runners on there right now with Revere at third and Rollins at first, 2 outs.
I'd give him a shot. I mean, what he's doing now, he's going to let him know whether or not he's going to throw through or not.
Right.
With the 2 outs.
Catcher gets that from the bench and then gives it to the middle infielders.
Exactly.
There is Terry Collins right there. This would be a situation where they wouldn't even throw, you wouldn't think, with Revere at third. He could maybe score if that.
Well, he can even come down even more because David Wright is not playing him there.
Got in on him, popped it up, and it's playable behind home plate. Wrecker, and that'll end the inning. Phillies with 2 hits in the inning, an error by the New York Mets, but nothing on the board. We are through 4, and it's 3-1 Phils. That is Evelyn Champagne King, and everybody knows that song. Shame.
Oh, yeah.
She was big in disco from this area. Legend has it that she was discovered while subbing for her sister as a cleaning woman at Philadelphia's Sigma Sound Studio.
Wow.
That's legend.
Huh.
She's good, though. I'm in Love, Love Come Down, and Shame were 3 of her hits. TSOP, the sound of Philadelphia here tonight at Citizens Bank Park. Anthony Recker leads it off. Fly ball to center. Been a few of them here tonight.
What kind of dance were you doing back in the day with that music going on?
Whatever it wasn't very good. I guarantee you that.
A lot of times all you have to do is just move your feet.
Bite your lip.
Yeah. Whatever works.
Good cutter there by Cole. Gets ahead of him 1-2. B. Recker, he's hitting in the 6th hole tonight. Then Lagara as the center fielder, and then shortstop Quintanilla. Hefner would bat 4th. Phillies with a 3 spot in the 2nd. Mets with a run last inning. That's where we are 3-1. Cuts it on the inside corner. Strike 3 call. 1 away.
What good old-fashioned fastball as that ball cuts right in there. Nice pitch.
Well, for years, StubHub has been the place to find great Phillies tickets, and this season you can get more with your tickets thanks to StubHub Fan Rewards. So get to StubHub and grab your seats today. Lagares fouls off a bunt attempt. He also flied out to center field tonight. Ben Revere pretty busy early in this game. There he is. Base hit to left field. See if Brown can cut it off. Lagares is thinking double, and he can run. And he goes in standing up for his 5th double of the year.
Well, that's a good indication you can run. Don't even have to slide as he goes in.
We talked about his speed in the outfield. He can really run down the ball.
Yeah.
And he showed it right there on the base pass. Got that double out of the batter's box.
That's usually how you get them. Well, he hit that ball right away. Ball got in. Well, he did hit that ball on the barrel as that ball goes in to left field. Kind of takes Dominic there all the way toward the line. Then he's got to wind up to throw. Not going to work.
Quintanilla with a swing and a miss. Cole starts him with a real good changeup. Quintanilla played a long time with the Rockies, and he's been all over the place. He was with the Mets last year. They sent him to Baltimore for a while, then re-signed him during the offseason. Gives him insurance in the infield. Tejada on the disabled list right now. Hard ground ball that gets past Michael Young into left field. So runners at the corners, they'll stop Lagares right there. It scored a hit. It was hit right on the nose.
That ball was smoked. It's one of those plays where when that ball is hit, he goes down. You're hoping that it's going to go in that glove, and has spin on it too. Actually got by him though before he got that glove up.
Well, that'll give Hefner a chance to maybe get a bunt down here. He has 3 sacks so far this year. 0 for 18 as a hitter, so you know he's not swinging away. First major league start against the Phillies, he beat them and hit a home run off Joe Blanton that night. He has exactly 1 hit since. Gets a bunt. Foul. Boy, you talk about spin. I'd like to put that, have your wedge put spin on a ball like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is going to be, I mean, that safety squeeze. He's not coming right away. That ball had have gotten in, and he's reading the ball. That's what's going to happen there.
Yeah, and the worst thing they're trying to do here is bunt the runner in the scoring position.
Yeah, and if he bunts it, say it goes hard there towards second base, you know, more than likely you'll have the runner that will come on in and try and score.
Tim Tuffle talking to Lagares at third. Look out. 1-1.
Like that pitch.
The Atlanta Braves have moved on to Milwaukee, their former home for that franchise, and the Brewers lead at 1-0. Atlanta 4-6 in their last 10, losing 3 out of 5 in that series just completed in Atlanta to these guys. Around the bunt again, and bunts it in front of the plate. Ruiz looks Lagares back, throws him out. Nice play by Carlos Ruiz. Sargent looking back.
Yeah, actually taking charge of that whole play and going out getting the ball. Well, you don't want your pitcher handling that. Look the runner back. Strong throw in the first base.
And Lagares did just what you said. He came down the line and read it.
Yeah.
And if something had gone wrong there, say Ruiz doesn't take a look, he may score on the play.
Good point. That's why you want that momentum going the other way. You see how he takes a look there and it goes down and just makes a good fine toss.
And now the Mets have the tying run at second base. And a good bunt there by the pitcher, Jeremy Hefner, and Eric Young, the batter. He's lined out, doubled, and scored their run. And Cole looked like he started him with a curveball there and missed 1-0.
Yeah, that's because he hit the fastball the last time up for a double.
On the first pitch.
Very first pitch.
Hamels already, though, with 73 pitches with a lot of full counts and foul balls tonight. Check swing. Did he go? Nope, says Bill Welke. Another hook, 2-0.
Yeah.
Daniel Murphy, left-handed batter on deck.
No, for me in this situation still, I'm not giving in. I want to throw him a quality pitch.
Young thought that was a little high. It was a changeup, and he got it over. 2-1.
I think he was taking all the way on that, trying to just get on base.
Lagares at third, Quintanilla at second, 2 outs. And Cole evens the count now at 2-2. 2-2. Hard ground ball, base hit up the middle. This will tie the game. Young having a big night. He singles the center. A lot of Mets fans here, they like that. And they've come all the way back from 3-0 to tie the game at 3 on a 2-run single by Eric Young.
Pretty good hitting there by Eric Young as he drives in 2. Clutch hitting with 2 outs. Just eluded there at Jimmy Rollins as he goes down again and tries to get it. See where that pitch is? No, he was asking for the ball on the outside part of the plate. You can see what happens when you throw the ball down the middle. You don't have to be a big guy. You're going to end up hitting that hard.
Yeah, he hit it hard. Rollins was playing a little bit to pull, too, so not much chance to get it when it went up the middle. Well, the Mets with 1 in the 4th, 2 here in the 5th, and the game tied at 3. It's hit number 5 for them.
Well, they feel they've been playing very good baseball, especially after winning 3 in Atlanta.
He keeps trying to paint with Murphy out there.
Just a little bit too fine, I would think. Just missing just a little.
Murphy's lined to left and struck out on a 3-2 changeup his last time up. Broken bat, looper to right, and it's in for a hit. Young on his way to 3rd. The throw is late, and the Mets with runners at the corners. 2 outs, and here comes David Wright.
Well, we always seem to face that David Wright at a time when there's always men on base.
We'll bring Rich Doobie to the mound for a conversation with Hamels. And that will give us a chance to look at tonight's cold hard fact, and it's brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. David Wright, one of 6 players since 1961 with at least 1,500 hits as a third baseman for one team. You see some of the other guys, big time players in there, Hall of Famers.
Yeah, some pretty good company. Tim Wallach, I think he's with the Dodgers now, right? Third base coach. Terrific player.
Real good player. Saw him a lot of years with the Expos.
Yeah, played against them.
Nickname was Eli. Well, here we go with David Wright, who has flied out and singled in a run. Big spot in the game now for Hamels and the Phillies.
Yeah.
Playing David slightly towards right center in the outfield. He loves to swing at the first pitch, and they come inside and miss. And you see the defense there.
Yeah, and then once you go behind in the count, you get 2-0 or 3-0, 3-1. Becomes more of the hitter's advantage simply because they can just sit on one particular pitch.
Little nubber out in front of the plate, Hamels, and that'll do the inning. However, they tie it up with 2 runs on 4 hits, and we're through 4.5. 3-3 game. News gets you ready for the weekend and catches you up on all of the Delaware Valley's biggest news stories, all in just 30 minutes. Action News at 10 on PHL 17 tonight and every night. Michael Young leads it off for the Phils. Young batting in the 3-hole tonight. Ryan Howard to follow, and then Dominic Brown. No balls and 2 strikes. Hefner now with a tie game. Phillies have hit him pretty hard in the few times that they've seen him, but the 3 spot, and now he has a chance to hold it right there.
You want to be able to answer it. Need a base runner. Start from there.
Breaking ball way outside. Bounces away from Recker, 1-2.
Yeah, he's starting to come off the breaking ball some, Michael Young. That's why you'll see him off balance. He likes that ball, believe it or not, kind of middle, not in hand, but more middle. And then not really way away.
1-2. Dribbled foul third base side. Young tonight is grounded out, flied out. Swinging the bat really well lately, coming into the game at 290. Now at 288 on the 0 for 2 night.
Yeah, just need him to maybe pick those RBIs up a little bit.
Struck him out with a breaking ball. Ryan Howard doubled and scored in the second. Fly to center field in the third. 1 for 2 tonight, thus starting to descend over the Delaware Valley right now on this very long day. June the 21st, full moon tonight. This is a great night for a game. Good ball game so far. And Howard takes a breaking ball away. 1 ball, no strikes. Big overshift for him, of course, with Murphy playing well into the outfield. Quintanilla, the shortstop, you see there on the second base side. And that's David Wright playing shortstop. And Ryan takes it away, 2-0.
Talking with Ryan Howard and really letting him know it doesn't matter what he's hitting for average, just because of the reputation of hitting home runs. They pitch him awful careful. I mean, like to try and get ahead if you can on him. But again, for me, for Ryan, I mean, if you just get a little more discipline, you'll see the ball start to fly out of the ballpark. He's hitting some of those balls just on the end of the bat, little where you need to be able to catch it a little bit further down.
2-1. And another pitch away. Called a strike. He didn't like it. 2-2.
And it's close. And again, any of those balls on the outside are going to seem like they're a little bit far because he's so far off the plate now. Beginning, he was on the plate. Now he's off the plate, and he wants this fastball he called up. Changed it. He's going to say to a fastball in.
Well, he's throwing him sliders and 1 changeup in this at bat. Threw him a 2-0 changeup. They do come back inside a little bit. He misses 3 and 2 with another breaking ball.
Yeah, just got to be disciplined in knowing that if he comes in there, more than likely he's not going to try and come in there for a strike. More or less for you to swing over the top of it.
Deep to left field, down the line. It is a fair ball, 1 hop off the wall. Here goes Ryan Howard with a stand-up double. This is just the way the 3-run second started. With nobody out then, this is with 1 out.
That's good hitting.
Good sign when he goes the other way.
Yeah, I mean, that's excellent hitting because, you know, the pitch before is the one that kind of set up this, but this is more, and not a bad pitch. The only thing is it came down into his swing. What I like about that, not over swinging. Look where his eyes are, and a lot of times he's not in that position But that is just excellent hitting right there.
Threw a lot of sliders to him in that at bat, and he got the breaking ball for a hit. Here's Dominic Brown. He has doubled, knocked in a run, scored, and singled. Now lifetime 4 for 4 off this guy with a homer and 5 runs batted in. Of course, tough to score Ryan Howard from second base, especially with one out where he really can't go on the crack of the bat necessarily. Doing what good base runners do, turn around, looked at the outfielders. Puts a lot of pressure on the third base coach, but you got to stop him.
Well, you're right. Well, he needs that ball hit in the gap for me.
Right.
You know, he hit it in the down the line or in the gap, what you're talking about. If it's hit right at him, it'll be difficult to score.
Makes it a lot easier.
If you get it down the line, I mean, if he just get himself a base hit, take your chances on Delman Young.
Dominic Brown, been a long time since he's hit a long ball. Very deliberate now is Hefner with the 2-0. And inside, he didn't go. Field down there to Field and Culbreth, the crew chief, 3-0. You give him a green light?
Yeah, I'll give him the green light for sure. Just hoping that he'll just catch one.
The 3-0 home run earlier this year when he was on that good hot streak.
Again, we're looking middle in.
And he takes an off-speed pitch, good at bat. And the Phillies with runners at first and second. Delman Young starting to swing the bat a little bit more. That's what they're really hoping for. And Murph Ruben tomorrow talked about that.
Yeah, no, he did. A really interesting article by Todd Zalecki on MLB.com about Delman Young and about his production so far. And as you said, Ruben Amaro Jr. Was asked, directly, is Delman doing the job? And he said, you know what? No, he needs to do a better job. But they really believe that Delman is going to get there. If you look at his past years, guys, and Todd points this out in his article, his first 125 at-bats in most of his seasons have been very slow. Well, he has 137 at-bats now, and he is just starting to heat up just a little bit. So that's what they're hoping for. That's why they keep sending him back out to right field and giving him that opportunity, because if you look at his past, in years past with the Twins and with the Tigers, after 125 bats is really when he starts getting going. So they're hoping it'll be the same this year.
Yeah, and realistically, Murph, they did point out that it's not like they have a lot of other options either.
It's a great point. Ruben said, yeah, you know what, we're hoping he has a hot second half, but honestly, what do we have, as an alternative? He said not very much. So they need him to get hot. That's why they brought him here, but they're hopeful that he will.
Pulling off those sliders right now, and he's behind 1-2.
Sarge, is it possible, you hit the big leagues for a long time, for a guy to, really just be a second half kind of guy?
Well, I mean, I've always felt sometimes you start off slow, sometimes you're going to be able to start off quick, but in your mind, just don't think, well, I'm not going to be able to hit until I reach 125 or whatever it does. It was a feeling for me there, Murph, that you had, seeing the ball a lot of times where you actually see the ball hit the bat. That's when you know you're cooking.
Delman said in the piece, he was asked about that, and he said, I'm very streaky early on, and we have to remember he did miss the month of April, so this is about a month and a half into his season. He said, I'm very streaky early, but then it all clicks for me, and that's when I really get going. So maybe it is in his head, maybe that's what he believes about himself, Sarge.
Yeah, well, he's going to start to feel more comfortable, and again, when he starts driving the ball, you'll see they'll be hit out to right center to right field.
Back him up a little bit there with a pitch inside with a fastball, and that's probably to go get him out with a slider now.
Yeah, but more importantly, though, besides the home runs for me, I'm thinking those base hits in those key situations. That's what I think Ruben Amaro Jr. is talking about.
There's a breaking ball, and he hung it. And David Wright with a line drive. Oh, threw a breaking ball right there, and Delman Young hit it right on the nose, but right at David Wright, and Ryan Howard did scramble back.
Oh, well, good base running because you want to freeze, and you're right, he did hit a breaking ball. This one more out over the plate, he spanks it. That's almost just a hanger right there, and he hit it hard. That's all you can do. David Wright catching the ball, but no chance to get Ryan Howard as he scampers back into second.
That was more of a curveball, too, it looked like, than the slider that he'd been throwing away, the hard slider to him. Now here's Ben Revere with 2 outs. And still 2 men on base. And Ben takes it over for a strike.
Now that had that little loop in it. You can always tell that slider will be more flat, and you can actually, as a hitter, you can see the dot on that slider that's actually spinning, especially the ones that are good.
Oh, 2. Ben tonight has been on base twice, got on a fielder's choice, scored a run in the second, and then a bunt single. He was at second base with nobody out in the 4th inning, and they didn't score him. See, with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, what he's done. Ryan Howard can go on the crack of the bat now, and Dominic Brown, the runner, at first base. The outfielder is really shallow in center and left field, as you would imagine for Revere.
Yeah, there would have to be a bobble, and again, ball hit down the line or in the gap. It's a ball that they can come and get to in front of them. Don't think Sandberg is going to bring him in.
Carlos Ruiz on deck. Yeah, it has to be a no doubt about it right now at this point in the game. 3-3 here in the 5th inning. That would have done it.
Ben has been swinging better. Well, and there is an adjustment from American League coming over to the National League. Getting used to not only the ballparks, but again, some of the pitchers.
Well, they're definitely pitching to their defense right now, too, because everything's away so far to Ben Revere.
Yeah, that was away, too, as he shot the ball away. Sure, he went out and told him, hey, that's a little too good of a pitch there, being ahead. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Grounded weakly towards short. David Wright cuts it off. He's not going to get him. Ben Revere beats it out with that great speed. And they're loaded for Ruiz with 2 outs.
Yeah, the only chance they may have had would have been able to go to second base. Once he winds up, oh boy, no way to get him. You see Ryan Howard as he goes around him, tries to flip that ball. Well, you're going to flip something there with Ben Revere. You might as well put the ball in your pocket. He literally outruns the ball in the air. He's so fast.
David Wright took a little look there at Quintanilla to see if he had a chance. I think he's talking to Fielder Culbreth too right now, saying that Ryan Howard impede his path to the ball.
Well, he went around him. He did what he should have done, I thought, on that play. Obviously, you can't run him down. You don't want to run in front. He would have bumped into him. So what he did, went around him.
Yeah, and it took a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And that allowed Revere to beat it out, keep the inning alive. Dan Worthen, pitcher of the Phillies at one time. Pitching coach goes out for a conversation. Carlos tonight has a base hit, and he struck out. Big spot here for the Phillies. See if they can get a big 2-out hit here and take the lead.
Yeah, struck out on that little slider there that the catcher held on to.
Carlos with 1 career Grand Slam home run. Good eye there. Takes a breaking ball. He crosses him up. Looked a little awkward then.
Yeah.
There's your base runners. Ryan Howard, Dominic Brown, Ben Revere. 9 hits allowed as a season high for Hefner right now.
This is one of those guys can't always just count on that fastball. He's been able to get the off-speed pitch over.
And there he goes. Chase the slider.
Yeah.
Right now, going into the game tonight, Hefner is 4th in the league with the lowest batting average for the opponents on sliders, 138.
Oh.
So he's using that pitch very effectively tonight, especially the right-handed hitters. Comes with a high fastball. Carlos ahead 2-1. Sometimes he's pitching backwards so much, it doesn't mean that he won't go to slide again. Huh?
Yeah, he's throwing that fastball. He knows that this is a fastball hitting club, so he's been able to throw those breaking balls just on the outside part of the plate to the right-handed hitters.
3-1. A good eye there.
Yeah.
By Carlos to take that slider, and now it's 3-1. Now does he go fastball?
Yeah, he's been throwing it so good. He'll get a fastball. He should get a fastball right here. Just got to make sure that it's down. But, you know, again, he's got all 4 of those off-speed pitches.
Here's a 3-1. Fly ball, center field. Nagaris, a good jump on it, going back, and he runs it down. Carlos Ruiz hit it pretty well, but the center fielder, we talked about his great speed. He runs it down. Phils will leave him loaded. We're through 5, tied at 3.
The week is leading the Phillies from the top of the lineup. No one smiles bigger than Ben, and no one is happier than his manager when the Phillies' speedy center fielder is making things happen. Revere batted over 300 in May, and it continues to rise during the month of June. On the base paths, Ben is beginning to make his mark and is among the National League leaders in snatching bases. He's leading your Phillies, and it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross, changing the game.
African-American Heritage Celebration here tonight. That's a pretty neat little dance. Those kids are having a good time.
Having a great time. And always, you know, the fanatic is getting ready to do his thing.
Always. Kids are getting to work in. I'd like to thank Tom McCarthy for taking a little time out from his son Patrick's graduation ceremony to do that spot for us there. Hope he and Meg and the kids are having a great time tonight.
Well, you know the kids are for sure. I'm sure Patrick is.
Well, if Tom's around, they'll be fun.
Well,
Marlon Byrd, the batter.
Fun and jokes.
Oh my! Fouled out of play, deep to left field. Got that cutter in on him a little bit. Marlon out front. I don't think they expected a foul ball up there tonight. And you got those tickets. It's usually not a spot where you get one.
Well, he turned on it, hit the ball hard.
Marlon's 0 for 2 tonight. And he really gets in on him, this Cole Hamels. Hamels says, who wants it? Michael Young making sure that mound doesn't booby trap him there going up. You see infielders do that once in a while.
Gosh, are you kidding me? Seeing him fall flat down going on the mound.
You could see him as he got to it. He started to tiptoe a little bit as that slope went up. I'll bring up Lucas Duda, whose walk was caught stealing, is grounded out. Mets are a little short in their bullpen tonight. Their bullpen's been great lately, but it was really used in that series in Atlanta. Plus, Jonathan Neese went out with a shoulder problem early last night. They needed innings out of Hefner tonight. So far, they've gotten 5. Changeup misses. Almost thought maybe he had strike 1.
Headed in a good spot.
85 pitches for Cole. (2-0). This guy, it seems like he always hits ahead in the count.
Well, he's got a good eye. When you have a good eye, you can hit in the count. he takes a lot of pitches, should be able to hit higher than that 236 that he currently is at.
Robbed by Jimmy Rollins his last time up, and that ball up the middle. Hamels falls behind him 3-0. Threw a 1-out walk in the second inning before he was caught at second base. Taking all the way 3-1. Good off-speed pitch there. Gets him to chase. 3-2 and a fastball count. Throws him changeup.
Yeah, good point too, because Duda was actually cheating on that fastball, actually selling all out.
Pop-up foul towards the dugout and out of play. Third base side. Well, every time the Phillies retire the opposing team 1-2-3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports, giving you all your favorite sports all year long. Cole Hamels has retired them in order twice tonight. 3-2 again. And just low, he walked it. 38th time that Lucas Duda has walked. And that'll bring up the catcher, Anthony Recker, who was flied out and struck out. 40,062 here tonight. Great crowd and a perfect night for a ball game.
This is when he really needs to pay attention to detail, meaning make sure you make your pitches. Don't get your own self in trouble by walking batters.
92 pitches, so you're going to have to start thinking about the bullpen pretty soon. It's only the 6th inning. Over for a strike. 1-1. Recker starting his 13th game tonight, giving John Buck the night off. He'll probably play the next two.
Yeah.
Right there with a fastball. See Recker's reaction there, like he was guessing anything but he was going to get a fastball down the middle.
Right, too young to be guessing on pitches. You keep guessing like that, you'll be below that 182 that you're at right now, especially taking pitches like that.
And you get the off speed and strike out. Hamels came with a breaking ball and got him.
Good pitch. You know, the one pitch that he could have hit, he let go by, and then he thought he could hit this pitch here. Not going to hit that breaking ball. Bad position. Not good balance.
2 outs and Duda still at first base. And that'll bring up Lagares. He got their 2-run 5th inning started with a double to left with 1 out.
Well, this is when the outfield, you got to pay attention, make sure no ball is going to be getting in the gap. Don't want them to score a run there with 2 outs.
Holding Duda, a very slow runner on at first, and that ball is headed towards that gap you're just talking about, and it will one-hop the wall. Duda mentioned is really slow. They're waving him around. Jimmy Rollins' throw to the plate is safe. Oh, he was huffing, puffing his way around and scores, and the Mets lead it 4-3.
Yeah, that's why I was saying that you want to be in a position too. I mean, where you can cut it off. We talked about fielders playing up and back. Scoreboard dictates how you're going to play the game. Don't know if they would have cut it off. He may have been able to get to it though a little bit quicker. Ball hit into left center. About the only way he's going to be able to score as he's looking at it. Here comes Duda as he comes in. Hard slide in the home plate. Just in there. As you can see the strike tag by Carlos Ruiz.
And they will walk Quintanilla right now with a base open and 2 outs and turn their lineup over. Runner in scoring position Lagares, who has 2 doubles here tonight, 6 on the year. Guy came in hitting .211. Here's Duty. He's going to need some oxygen. And he's running in the crack of the bat there with 2 outs, and that was how they were able to score him from all the way from first base for a guy that doesn't run real well.
Yeah, well, you wanted to make him really throw or get 2 hits, I should say.
Well, the Braves will be here for the first time this year, Friday, July the 5th at 7:05, Saturday the 6th at 7:15. Mama Lucia Meatballs. Ladies' night, free print for women 15 and over. And then Sunday, July 31st at 1:35. Order now at Phillies.com. The Phillies and the Atlanta Braves for the first time here this year. Phillies have not seen the Braves since the opening series of the season. Hefner fouls it straight back. He has fouled out and then put down a bunt his last time up, which led to a 2-out, 2-run single. So they have scored their last 3 runs with 2 outs.
I hope he gets this ball down.
And he strikes him out to end the inning, but the Mets take the lead and took advantage of that 3-2 walk to Lucas Duda. Juan Lagares knocks in the go-ahead run. Hamels will lead it off for the Phillies in the 6th. Go further by Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Philadelphia Phillies, and by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. Mets have just taken a 4-3 lead at the top of the 6th inning, and that's going to be it for Cole Hamels. He comes into the dugout, slams the glove down. Well, beating on the bench is what he was doing.
Well, he's a competitor. He wants to win. Knows that really you end up making a bad pitch, but again, can't beat the effort. I mean, he's out there trying. There's so many different things besides a pitcher pitching. I mean, like I mentioned before, playing back deeper, making sure the ball doesn't get over your head in this situation. All that comes into play.
Got beat by the bottom of the order there, too, and the walk really hurt him.
Yeah.
Kevin Franson will lead it off. Kevin's done a good job as a pinch hitter this year. He's been playing a lot regularly, Murph, and how's he going to adjust to this?
You know what, Wills? It's something Charlie talked about before the game today. You know, he likes Kevin Franson, obviously, for his offense, and he did a nice job for them when he was in there. But he also likes him coming off the bench. He says right now he thinks he's his best guy off the bench. He always gives you a quality at bat, and he's constantly working at the art of hitting. It's what got Kevin Franson to the big leagues, and it's what's going to keep him in the big leagues. And he likes the way he approaches batting practice. You know, he's not trying to launch him out of the ballpark. He's working on hitting them the other way and shortening that swing. So Charlie Manuel feels very comfortable putting him up in a spot like this.
Yeah, you're right, Murph. He does. He gives you a great at bat just about every single time up there. He stays on the fastball. And actually, talking to him last night at the Jimmy Rollins Harlem night, he said, well, looks like I'm not going to get a whole lot of playing time. But he said, guess what? I will be ready, and I believe that.
And that is so important. And you know, obviously, Wheels, you know that. To have a guy on your bench. One of the things that Charlie said today about Kevin was that the guy loves to play, and almost sometimes to a fault because he wants so badly to be in there. But I think they're the kind of guys that you want on your team, and certainly coming off your bench, guys that are dying to get up there and to produce when given the opportunity.
Absolutely. 6 for 20 as a pinch hitter with 5 runs batted in. And he did what he unfortunately does a lot of times, beat a ball off his foot.
Yeah, you know, guys put that guard, and usually it never hits a guard. Usually hits an open area every time.
How many times he does that?
Oh.
2-2. Ms. Hefner's giving them a good effort right now leading the game. And low, and once again, Kevin Franson runs a deep count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. This guy throws a lot of sliders. Jimmy Rollins waiting on deck in the top of the order. See how he goes after him here with a 1-run lead.
I think he's got to make him hit to go on and throw that fastball.
Well, he did.
No, I thought you were right.
It was a breaking ball?
Yeah, you were right. It was a slider, but it actually, believe it or not, actually backed up on him where Franson going out to hit the ball. The ball came right back there on him.
Yeah, he does a good job with that breaking ball, no doubt about it. There's DeFreitas. Justin will be the new pitcher in the 7th inning. Pitchers would love to be able to throw a backup slider and know they're going to throw it because it's really effective.
Yeah, and it happens usually by mistake.
Hitter sees slider spin, figure it's going to go away, and it comes back at him. Jimmy's 1 for 3. Think back to his hit last time. That was a great play by Wright that saved a run, and now the Mets are up by a run.
That's a good point. Ball was hit right down the line.
Fly ball foul out of play down the left field line. Phillies with just 3 runs tonight, but all in the 2nd inning. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of times with their offense this year just kind of shut down. They need to get it going here again now, trailing 4-3.
Well, that's why having guys back like Chooch and also Chase Utley give yourself a lift. You'll just feel better as a club having those components back.
After continuing to throw a lot of sliders as Utley waits on deck.
Oh yeah, well he's going on what's working, and he's got all those pitches. Fastball is a decent fastball, but he's able to get that breaking ball over right there. That's a curveball.
Yeah, that's a pitch that struck Jimmy out on the 1st inning. Hadn't thrown a whole lot of changeups tonight. Mostly fastball, slider, a few curveballs.
Hadn't had to.
Yeah.
Slider's been working on the righties. They've been swinging at that.
There's a ball grounded in the hole, a base hit for Jimmy Rollins. He hit an off-speed pitch there. As we saw Scott Rice, a left-hander, starting to loosen up. They have 2, Josh Edgin and Scott Rice. Edgin's pitched a lot lately for them. Don't even know if he's available tonight.
I'll give J-Roll a little bit of credit. They're staying back on that, shooting it in right into the hole.
And that may have been a changeup or that curveball because it was slow.
Well, there's something off speed, that's for sure. Curveball or the changeup. Slider is a lot harder than that. See if he can get a jump and maybe try and get into scoring position.
And you have the hole open right now for Chase with 1 out. And Marlon Byrd playing deep in right field. Big slow breaking ball, and he gets it over for a strike. Chase tonight is grounded out hard to first, struck out, popped up foul. First activity for the Mets is Scott Rice tonight. They were hoping they could get something out of Hefner because their bullpen's a little beleaguered with all the innings they had to pitch in Atlanta this week. Utley lined to center and right at the center fielder Lagara has 2 outs. Hit that thing right on the nose.
See the jump he got? I mean, he was almost coming in with the crack of the bat. Pretty good swing, however, by Utley.
MLB.com at bat is the #1 source for live baseball everywhere you go. Available for iPhone, iPad, iPad Mini, Android, and BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers Phillies baseball, live audio, pitch tracking, stats, news, highlights, and more. Text At Bat to 318 888-268-26 or visit Phillies.com for details. Michael Young with 2 outs. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Here's that slider.
Yeah. It's a tough pitch to hit. Hey, that ball comes in like a fastball, and I talk about hitting that ball up the middle, and if you're able to stay on it, that ball you're going to shoot right in the right center or the right field somewhere. You come off of it, you miss it, or hit a ground ball.
And he tries to check and can't.
Yeah. Well, you got to pick up that swing, and you know it, and you're hoping that you're not going to swing at it. And
we mentioned the numbers that he has with his slider. There's his pitch count. This will probably be it for him if he can get through this inning. And he wants Anthony Recker to go through the signs again. 2 sliders to go 0-2.
Good lead, J. Rowe at first base.
And he struck him out on a foul tip, held on to by Recker on 3 pitches. That'll end the inning. No runs, a hit. And 1 left. We're through 6. And the Mets and Jeremy Hefner have a 1-run lead.
Well, we got your local Honda dealers game summary. Mets right now hit 4-3 there on 7 hits. Fighting Fields about hit them, but not scoring enough runs for him. You see Jerry Hefner there with his line. Pitched very well. Had a good slider. 6 Ks there. Eric Young, however, offensively taking it over. Thought Cole didn't pitch too bad there. Those 6 innings did give up that last hit to have the Mets go ahead 4-3. You're going to have to come back in this game there. This is a big game for the Fight Field. They're going to need this one, Wills.
Absolutely, Sarge. And after the 3-0 lead, trailing 4-3, and turning it over to Justin DeFreitas to try and hold the fort and see if they can come from behind and win the ball game. Just down by 1 with 3 at-bats to go. Eric Young will turn around bat left-handed for the first time tonight. He's been a big factor in this game. See the numbers on Justin. And pitches outside.
You know, the good thing about being with a new club, especially the club they came from in Colorado, Denver, Colorado Rockies, when a team doesn't want you, it's almost like new life when you go to another club. Although you have to go there to prove yourself, and if you start getting hits early on, you become part of that club right away.
Hard ground ball, but right at Chase Utley. And he throws him out. He's now 2 for 4 tonight with a couple of runs batted in. Well, these lucky fans are today's Citizens 7. Citizens 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Citizens Bank. Congratulations to those lucky fans. And Daniel Murphy will bat. He is 1 for 3. Let's keep the bullpen up. Cole Hamels, a night, 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs they were earned, 3 walks, 1 intentional, and 5 strikeouts. There's Rice. I mentioned he was up last inning. 10 hits allowed for Hefner tonight, ties his career high, and he may be finished and will be the pitcher of record on the plus side.
Really impressed with the slider. Decent fastball Hefner had, 92, 93.
Well, the numbers didn't lie about him being one of the tops in the league as far as batting average against his slider. He had a good one tonight.
Well, when you're able to have that slider and looking like a fastball, you're going to get right-handed hitters to offer at it.
Freitas inside with a fastball. There is Jeremy Hefner, 27-year-older out of Perkins, Oklahoma, originally drafted by the Padres in the 10th round back in June of 07. Attended Oral Roberts. The Mets picked him up on waivers a couple years ago.
Oh, good job, I guess. Yeah, well, he's here.
Yeah, 1-6 this year, but his numbers are pretty good. They haven't scored a whole lot for him, nor have they caught the ball very well.
Just going on his performance tonight, and the command of the off-speed pitches that he had was pretty good.
3 balls and a strike on Murphy, another guy who runs a lot of deep counts. Both Murphy and Duda do that, and he walks him.
Thought that was a pretty good pitch for me.
Well, 1 out base runner. The guy really not a base stealer. And here's David Wright, 1 for 3 with an RBI single. Right, swinging that first pitch, fouls it into his own dugout, 0-1. Freitas fastball, slider, changeup. Throws a lot of fastballs, trying to keep it out of the middle of the plate. Game number 18 for him. His bullpen with a day off, well rested. Breaking ball there, and he swings and misses, gets ahead 0-2.
Well, anytime you throw that pitch, fastball hard in, and then you get that breaking ball, very difficult again for the right-hander to go out there and hit that ball. He's got him set up for all kind of different pitches. High fastball, maybe another slider in the dirt.
Gets in on him there with a hard fastball, and it's still 0-2.
David used to bail quite a bit. It's taken him a little while to get back into his regular swing. He got hit in the head, and after getting hit in the head, any pitch that's up near your head, you have a tendency to flinch. He was doing that on a lot of the breaking balls. But now he seems to have settled down. I think that happened a couple of years ago. He's settled down now back, and he's almost back to right where he was before.
Got him. Foul tip held on to by Carlos Ruiz. 2 outs, a strikeout for DeFreitas.
Good pitch.
Well, tomorrow, following the 6:05 Philadelphia Soul versus Iowa game, see the first ever Arena Football Army versus Navy Veterans game featuring former Annapolis and West Point stars. Phillies fans can show their ticket stub from any game this homestand to receive a $10 ticket at the Wells Fargo Center box office. Murphy still at first now with 2 outs, and Marlon Byrd, the batter, 0 for 3. Jake Diekman starting to loosen up. Scott Rice still up for the Mets. And Marlin gets a first ball breaking ball, swinging fastball, 0-1.
Yeah, he was at the he was in that fastball mode there.
There's Diekman. Hasn't been used a whole lot since they brought him up.
If he goes back with the breaking ball or come in with the fastball, just the way he swung at it, invites you to another breaking ball.
And Marlon Bird, a shallow fly ball to left field. Here comes Dominic Brown in plenty of time, makes the play, and that'll do it. No runs. And one man left on base. Phil's come up to bat. Dominic Brown's going to be one of those guys to hit. They trail it by 1. Question. Phillies fans logged on to Phillies.com fan section for all the information. Please submit your answer. And the question was, Sarge, who was the first Mets player ever to start an All-Star game back in 1964?
Oh boy, it's a tough one. I've been thinking about it. Really, I couldn't even think about the players on that team, but I did come up with Ed Quainpoo.
Good
and
guess.
Dick Grody.
Jerry Grody. That's a double. Let's hear the sound.
That's awful sound.
Yeah,
Sarge.
It really is.
Yeah, that's a double buzz. The answer is a guy. I'll give you a hint. He used to get hit by pitches a lot, especially when he went to another team, an expansion team. In this
the
division.
little left-handed. Well, I know he had a restaurant there in New York.
No, wasn't Rusty.
Well, I don't know.
But this guy went on to Montreal, was a human dartboard. It was Ron Hunt.
Oh, gosh.
So log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. I know the feeling, buddy.
I got to tell you, it's just the noise, that noise there. Just,
they love doing that.
I like it when you're doing it and I hear it.
Of course you do. Scott Rice, the new pitcher. 2 left-handed hitters in a row here, and they have right-hander Carlos Torres up the bullpen, who's done a nice job for them. Rice, left-handed hitters have not done much. By the way, that voice in the background, that buzzer,
yeah,
you can tell that wasn't the real buzzer.
No, I know that.
That was Murph.
Oh, well, he really enjoyed that.
Fits right in, doesn't he?
I can tell you that right now. I thought it had a little extra sound going on in there.
I thought they had a fan buzzing you somewhere. I was trying to figure out who that was. Ryan Howard with a couple doubles tonight, facing Rice. Probably is here just for 2 hitters. This guy is coming into his 40th game. He was tied for first in appearances, so they sure use him a lot. Left-handed hitters just 182 against him with a homer and 18 strikeouts.
Well, that tell me then he has a good a breaking ball. Anytime you see a pitcher with more strong, almost the same there on the strikeouts, 29 in the third innings, 22 Ks.
Check swing foul back. 87 to 91 on a sinker, fastball, slider, changeup guy.
He's been getting ahead of the hitters and then getting them to offer at a pitch that would be not a strike.
Non-roster guy coming to camp with him this year, 6'7", 230-pounder from Westlake, California.
Oh.
Originally signed by Baltimore, and there's that slider that you figure he has to have. And he strikes him out, one away.
Now he comes in, actually freezes him with that fastball on the check swing. And then this is what he gets, that slider. Looks like a fastball. You can see his body out in front.
You're a left-handed reliever. You come up here and you throw a slider like that, you last a long time in this league.
Gosh.
Everybody's looking for them. And he gets another left-handed hitter in Dominic Brown. 2 for 2 with a walk. See Dominic pretty good there against left-handed pitchers. This guy's got a little funky delivery there, a little leg kick he gives you. I guess maybe trying to get the hitter to look at that, not the ball.
Yeah, it can be intimidating on the mound just because he's so tall.
Fouled away, actually pitched in the Independent League in 2008 for Long Island. The Long Island Ducks. Been in a lot of different organizations. The Mets signed him as a minor league free agent in November of last year. He was in the Dodgers organization last year and pitched at AAA Albuquerque. 2-2. Right-hander continuing to throw out there, Carlos Torres.
It's a lot of respect for those players to go down to that independent league, which you really got to be doing your thing to get back into the major leagues, or just to have a club sign you. But anyone would have a chance. It would be the pitchers there that would have a good arm or a good breaking ball.
And there he does the job of the two left-handed hitters. And see if Terry Collins comes out and gets him in a one-run game. Pitching coach Stan Worthing. Don't even see the manager. Oh, there he is. There's Terry right there. So nope. Delvin Young will bat. He is singled, flied out, and lined out. Ben Revere on deck. Playing that no doubles, don't hit it over your head defense now in the outfield in this inning with everybody way back.
Yeah.
See how deep they are, especially Young in left field.
They're trying to keep everything in front of them, so if you do score, it would end up taking you 3 hits if you didn't hit the ball out of the ballpark. Keep it in front.
1-1 strike now on Young, who is singled, flied out, as we mentioned, and lined out for an 0-for-3 night. Guarding the line with David Wright at third on the pull side. You almost think they put Duda on the line on the other side because he hit so many balls the other way.
Yeah,
went the first baseman's way off the line.
This situation here, he's trying to get a pitch to hit out of this ballpark and tie this game up. You got to have the discipline that when you're looking to hit that pitch, if it's not there, and you know where it should be because you've hit enough of those in batting practice, and you know the area where that ball is going to jump for you. So therefore, that's where you're looking. If it's not in that area, you got to let it go.
And a full count. Throwing a lot of off-speed stuff in this at bat. A couple change-ups, just backed up change-ups. More likely throw him change-ups and breaking balls.
Yeah, I wouldn't think he would give in here, especially with Ben hitting behind him, left-handed batter.
And he didn't, and walked him. Let's see if the Phillies run for Young now. Elman's looking into the dugout, and nobody comes out. Ben Revere, the batter. Has a couple hits tonight, a bunt single, an infield single, on a fielder's choice, has an RBI. He beat out a double play ball.
He's had a terrific game.
Now hit safely in 11 straight. Carlos Ruiz on deck with the right-hander Torres up. Just missed with that. He wanted it. 1-0.
Well, you can bet those fielders that ball is hit on the ground. If they can go to second, they're going to try and go there. I think they're getting a little bit tired there of trying to get Ben Revere as he's running toward first base.
There's a strike, 1-1. 4 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors for the Mets. 3-10-0 for the Phillies, who had a 3-0 lead in this game and now trail by 1. Scott Rice behind Jeremy Hefner with 2 outs and a runner at first. Grounded off the glove of Duda. He's going to need Rice, and he wins the race to the bag. Duda's still struggling with some ground balls down there, but they get him on the play. Score at 3-1. That'll end the 7th. No runs, no hits, 1 left. We are through 7. Good job by the pitcher covering here, Todd.
Yeah, it was a good job. He already knew right away, let me get over as fast as I can, and guess what? He did.
Only a Honda is a Honda. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by Nissan, choose Nissan today for great offers on our most innovative lineup ever. Shop at choosenissan.com. Beautiful shot of Broad Street. What a great night for a ball game. And it's been a good one. Phillies down by a run as we go to the 8th. And on comes Jake Diekman, and they would like this guy to turn it a little bit like what Scott Rice is able to do.
Yeah, well, he's a hard thrower, has all the tools. Just a matter of time, I'm thinking, before he's able to put everything together. And the best thing, though, that hard fastball, you can't teach that. So now what you have to do is make sure you got your location that's right.
That was the Ben Franklin Parkway, by the way. Obviously not Broad Street, but it was a quick glance. It was pretty. Pretty look at City Hall. Diekman, strike 1 to Duda. He's been tough tonight. He's walked twice in that 1-out walk in the 6th inning. That's the go-ahead run right now, as he scored all the way from first on a 2-out double by Juan Lagares. Diekman has not appeared in the game since the 15th of the month at Colorado. There's a good breaking ball. Justin DeFreitas, a solid inning. 13 pitches, a walk and a strikeout. Cole tonight, by the way, 114 pitches in his 6 innings. There were 15 foul balls in there.
Well, he was around the plate. Really only that one bad pitch.
And Eric Young hurt him tonight with a 2-out hit.
Sure did. Started hitting the ball solid. Haven't had a chance to see him play a lot. Didn't play a lot over in Colorado either. It's one of those players that's going to have to make the team play him by the way that he goes out and play.
He scored 3 runs tonight with 2 outs. There's a good breaking ball, and he strikes out Duda. Well, this is a part of the broadcast I've been waiting for all night to have the chance to introduce Murph and his Major League notebook.
Well done, Wheels, and thank you very much. Brought to you by Gwinnett Mercy College. And the experiment between the Detroit Tigers and Jose Valverde is now over. The Tigers have designated their on-again, off-again closer for assignment. After starting strong, Valverde had really struggled over his last 8 appearances. 11 earned runs in 7 1/3 inning with 2 blown saves. And the Mets guys got some news, and I don't know if it's good news or bad news. Jonathan Neese has a partially torn rotator cuff. He is, of course, on the disabled list right now, but the Mets believe he will not need surgery, just a little rest and some exercise, and that should heal. However, they're not exactly sure. So you don't know if that's good news or bad news. I guess it certainly could have been worse. It could have been completely torn, and he would have been headed to surgery right away. So they're going to give Jonathan Neese some time. They're going to have their youngsters in that starting rotation for a little while, and Harvey and Wheeler, and I hope that Jonathan Neese can get better, guys.
Are they thinking maybe that opens up a spot for Wheeler?
Well, it certainly does in the short term, and I assume if Neese comes back, he'll get his starting spot back in that rotation, and then they'll have to make some decisions. But for the immediate future, yes, Wheeler will stay in the rotation there, I'm being told.
Murph, they sent him back, didn't they, after his start the other night?
Yeah, but the reports are that he will make another start up in at the big league. So they're going to need somebody, and he's on their list, and that's the way they're reporting it right now.
Big arm guy they got from the Giants. Of course, we're going to see Matt Harvey here on Sunday,
yeah.
And he's about as good as they come right now.
Oh, boy.
Diekman coming in throwing some quality pitches. Struck out the first batter, Duda. Now 2-1 on Anthony Recker, who's flat out and struck out twice. Line to center. That ball's hit hard. Revere is there. Closes it. Good angle on it. 2 outs.
Got a great jump on the ball to be able to make it look easy.
That'll bring up a guy who hasn't hit a whole lot since they had him here. They brought him up for center field. Here's Revere getting the jump you talked about, Sarge.
Well, he did. He ended up just catching it. Stayed there in the very beginning, reading the ball, and he's got closer speed. I mean, he can close down these balls that he might misjudge because of his speed.
Also shows you how it's a lot easier to catch when it's not hit right at you.
Oh, definitely.
When it's off to the side like that.
Oh, when the ball's right at you, that's the toughest ball to be able to catch, simply because you're not able to get an angle on the ball.
Lagares has been huge in this game tonight with a couple doubles, a run scored, and a run batted in the go-ahead run. The guy they have out there to catch the ball, they don't expect him to hit a whole lot.
No.
And he's certainly done that tonight. Jake Diekman trying to have a good inning here. Phillies bullpen so far so good, with a good inning by Justin DeFreitas, and now Diekman with 2 up and 2 down.
Do you like that pitch there? It's got to be a little bit closer to be effective.
There's Carlos Torres. I think he would have the 8th. Line to right. Here comes Young, and he slides and can't make the play. The Phillies down in the game still have Delman Young in right field.
Now give him credit for that. That's pretty good try as he comes in and slides. Eyes right there on it. Just didn't land in his glove. Check it out as it hits the heel of the glove there. And a lot of times when you're diving, I mean, you're taking a chance. Got to give credit though. There was a pretty good try.
Of course, that's a hit. So that's the first hit off Diekman, hit number 8 for New York. And Omar Quintanilla, the shortstop, will bat. Pitcher spot due next. They're showing Andrew Brown, a right-handed batter, as a potential pinch hitter, as that breaking ball misses. Phillies have nobody up in the bullpen. Brown got a pinch hit last night in the game in Atlanta. Quintanilla 1 for 2 tonight with a single run scored, strikeout, and he was intentionally walked. All his at bats coming off Cole Hamels. Strike called. 1-1.
Good pitch, keeps the ball down. He's got good stuff. He has the stuff to be able to pitch here in the major leagues and to be consistent. Just needs to throw a few more strikes.
You're not going to get hurt out there too often by a left-handed hitter when you throw a 96 like he just did.
And good point, and also hammering it down. He's got him set up there for any type of little slider. Go up the zone there with a fastball.
Stays alive, foul at the plate. They're playing Quintanilla the other way, figuring he's going to hit the ball to left or left center, shading him that way and shallow.
Yeah, just giving up the right field line altogether.
They're trying to get him out now, come in the 8th inning and put something on the board, only down by 1. Quintanilla right off the end of the bat, a floater into the outfield, and it drops for a base hit. And the Mets will have runners at first and third, and they'll send up Andrew Brown. That's a good piece of hitting by Quintanilla to make contact.
Boy, could have thrown it out there any better in between Chase Utley, that was actually chasing the ball down. No chance for Ben Rivera or Delvin Young in right field. See if that's right off the end of the bat. Gets punished for making a good pitch. See that ball just about in no man's land there. Delvin getting it back in.
And Rich Doobie's going to come out a little scouting report now on Andrew Brown, the pinch hitter, right-handed batter. Well, it's time now for the Coors Light Freeze Can. What a great night here. Celebration at Citizens Bank Park. The music's been great. It's been a lot of fun. Good ball game. Some great music from guys like Bunny Sigler and the sound of Philadelphia. A lot of pride here in this town in the music. Goes back a long way. Coors Light Freeze Cam is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Big spot in this game to try and get out of it. Just a run separates these two teams with runners at the corners. And Brown takes it down and in. No right-hander up in the bullpen. Are they going to go with DeFreitas here?
That's why you mix up your pitches. He's throwing that ball 95, 96. They were still able to get wood on it. That's why you mix in the off-speed pitch to give him something else to think about.
Brown takes it inside again. He just came back from AAA Las Vegas on June the 19th after his option on May 13th.
Well, he's put himself in a fastball count. Charlie's kind of shaking his head there a little bit.
Grounded to short, should be out of the inning. Jimmy Rollins over to Chase Utley, and that'll do it. No runs and 2 hits. And 2 left. We're headed to the bottom of the 8th inning. Phillies trying to get something done here and get back in this. They'll lead it off with Carlos Ruiz. To play the game, Sarge.
Well, this is none other than Jimmy Rollins. Take a look at this as he does that 360. Didn't catch it in the glove clean, but made up with it with that arm. And what a terrific play. It makes that play as easy as anybody. I'm going to put a patent on that play.
That's our Hyundai defensive play of the game, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers. New pitcher is the right-hander Carlos Torres. This guy has been around, pitching the major leagues for the White Sox and also for Colorado last year in 31 games. 6'1", 185-pounder out of Santa Cruz, California. He was at AAA Las Vegas pitching as a starter for them this year, and they brought him up, and he's done a pretty good job out of the bullpen since he's been here. They don't think they have Bobby Parnell available to close tonight because all the pitching that he did in that series in Atlanta. So we'll see what they do with their bullpen here. Carlos Ruiz will lead it off, and then Lance Nix will bat for Diekman. Good job by DeFreitas and Diekman to give them 2 scoreless innings, keep it at a 1-run game.
That's the job of the bullpen. Whenever they come in, keep that situation exactly the way it is, meaning not giving up any runs.
Torres starts him with a breaking ball and gets it over. 89-94 fastball, curveball, cutter. Doing the scouting report on him as the Phillies get Michael Stutz up.
Could have gone either way, right on the black, outside corner. More importantly, though, he had it down and in a good spot.
Carlos loops it foul down the right field line, out of play, and still 0-2 on. It'll be Ruiz out of the 8-hole, and then Nix the bat for Diekman. Top of the order, Jimmy Rollins. 4-3 Mets in the 8th. Phillies have a 5-game winning streak right now against New York. Third meeting of the season with these guys. Tries a check and does. And the Rockies and the Nationals have gone ahead now 2-1. Rendon right there. It's a final, excuse me. They won it 2-1. It was 1-0 for the Rockies for a long time. Rendon winds up with a big night for them. The guy's a highly talented player. We saw him in the series when they were here playing second base.
Well, how about that Desmond? He's at it again, going deep.
Yeah, he had a home run. Ruiz, a little comebacker. Torres gets it over there in a hurry to do it, 1 away. And Lance Nix will bat here in the 8th inning as a pinch hitter. Carlos Ruiz is 1 for 4 tonight. Nix's pinch hitting numbers. A couple of homers. Rally cap time.
Well, it doesn't necessarily need to be a home run, but something hit hard in the gap would be nice.
Yeah. They're going to play the outfielders really deep to try and prevent that.
They play in the pull and also deep. Big hole right up the middle.
Gets a fastball over at 92, 1-1. Carlos Torres in a little bit of trouble with Anthony Recker. They're trying to get together where they want to go.
Well, catcher wanted a fastball. He wanted to throw a little two-seamer fastball.
You mentioned on the scouting report that he throws cutter, and that's probably what that was. Velocity a little less than what his fastball had been. So he's had a Nix 1 and 2. He blew him away with that fastball. 2 outs.
Boy, I'm going to put a little extra on it. 94 on that one.
Well, post-game concert on Friday, July the 5th, after the Phillies and the Braves. International DJ sensation WNW performs post-game at Citizens Bank Park. Dance the night away on the Budweiser rooftop and Ashburn Alley. For info and game tickets, see Phillies.com. That's WNW. July the 5th. Rollins a fly ball to left. Young has it sized up. And we're going to go to the 9th. Phillies up and down in order here in the 8th inning for Carlos Torres. Still trail it by 1. inside look at tonight's highlights and give you a unique breakdown of all things happening in the world of Phillies baseball. That's next on the Phillies postgame show, and it's live from Sugar House Casino. Michael Stutes will come on, third relief pitcher used by the Phillies behind Cole Hamels tonight to try to keep it to 1 run. And Bobby Parnell has gotten up in their bullpen. And word was that he may not be able to go tonight after all the work that he had in that series in Atlanta, but it looks like he must have played catch and said, I'm ready. So there's the big right-hander. It looks like he has the ninth for them. But first, it's up to Michael Stutes to keep it to a 1-run game. Eric Young, who's been a big thorn in the side of the Phils tonight, will lead it off, followed by Daniel Murphy and David Wright. I don't know what you're going to see up on that board, do you?
Well, there were some lonely people, and they weren't going to be lonely very much longer, I should say.
Fun part of the night.
Yeah.
All right, here's Young, and he takes a fastball away. He has lined out, and then he doubled and scored in the 4th, and a big hit he got with 2 outs in the 5th inning that tied the game with a single to center. And he grounded out. Have to play him up at third with Michael Young in case he were to bunt. There you see the third baseman in. And Stutes falls behind him 2-0. He got roughed up here the other night after he had pitched 2 real effective innings in a game against Washington.
Had some close pitches, I thought, not called.
And that was high. 3-0. Daniel Murphy on deck, left-handed batter. Charlie Manuel looking on, seeing a team that once again has scored just 3 runs, all of them in 1 inning.
It seems to be the case this year.
And he walked him on 4 pitches. And he's a base stealer.
Oh, yeah. You just don't want to start walking hitters. Bad things happen when you give hitters a free pass. We've seen that even tonight.
Murphy the batter. 1 for 3 with a walk. I don't know. You wouldn't think they'd bunt here, would you?
I think they might even hit and run. I mean, with them being ahead, don't know how Terry's going to play it, but Young has a good lead, and he's starting to get out there near where that cut is, getting that front foot out there.
And they have the hole on the right side if he wants to pull it, too. Delman Young, the right fielder, pitches outside for a ball. Now, Stutes has come in and thrown 5 straight pitches out of the zone.
Yeah, and don't want to get to where you get in those counts where they can just automatically send the runner. 2-0 count would do it. 2-1 would do it.
Tom Goodwin's a very active first base coach. He comes in a lot to talk to his base runners.
Yeah, well, he's a pretty good base stealer himself.
He sure was. Well, Carlos Ruiz going out there to try and settle Stutes down a little bit. Big part of this game to keep it to 1 run at home. You can do so many more things than with more runs score. And there's Antonio Bastardo getting up, starting to throw for the Phillies. And a reminder that tomorrow afternoon our start will be at 4 o'clock. Jonathan Pettibone on the mound for the Phillies, and Dylan G coming off a really good game and a disappointing loss to the Braves the other night for the Mets, and their starters have been pitching very well lately.
Yeah. It's an automatic really take right there, and he's going to see whether or not he can throw a strike or not.
And an automatic cheer goes up.
Yeah, well.
Now, this is a good count to do something, as you said. You know, you're going to hit and run here on a 2-1 count if you want to do that.
Yeah, you can hit and run on this count. Straight steal on it.
And nothing happens except another pitch out of the zone. Although it looked like Ruiz wanted that one. 3-1.
Well, he's called some high pitches tonight, but they've been a little bit closer and more toward inside. That one there outside.
DJ Rayburn is the home plate umpire tonight. 3 balls and 1 strike. Another good running count. There he goes. And it's grounded foul. So if they run 3-1, they'll probably run 3-2.
You would think so. Yeah, and the thing is, not only would you stay out of the double play in most cases, unless it's a line drive or maybe a ball hit right on the bag. With a base hit, you can go first to third. That's the other thing.
I think Carlos Ruiz would have little chance of throwing him out here if he's not going to get a great jump because he's running on the pitch. There he goes. And it's nubbed up the middle. Jimmy Rollins right there, safe at second, throws him out at first. The ball brought him right to it. What's he called? Has he called him out now?
I thought he did. I thought he did. That's why they're throwing that ball around.
Well, he didn't call him out right away. And now they want to find out what that was all about. That's Adrian Johnson, the second base umpire, but that's a double play. And he's going to have an explanation for Terry Collins and Tim Tuffle, third base coach, just there. Collins is going, what happened?
One or two things. Either said that he's on the bag or he end up tagging him. Take a look at it as he comes in. Oh, he's out there, right there on the bag. Oh, he called safe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He called him safe. And then it's like he realized, wait a minute. Well, he was safe. He was right the first time. He's right the first time. He was safe. He calls him safe, does Adrian Johnson, and he was safe.
Yeah, he was safe.
And then he changed his mind and called him out, and Jimmy had completed the throw to first base. So it's a 6-3.
Oh, Terry's right, though, to be arguing because of the fact that it was the wrong play. And he just said, you got to be kidding me.
Really?
I'd like to just hear the explanation after the game is over on how he actually saw it. And maybe he's going to say, hey, I made a mistake. I wanted it to be the out call. Who knows?
I don't know. He gave him an emphatic safe.
Well, he did.
But it turns into a double play and a big break for the Phillies with 2 outs and nobody on base and David Wright, the batter, as opposed to the Mets having a runner at second and 1 out. That was different.
Wow. You can be around this game a long time and just about see something different.
And you think about the runner going on that play, that drew Jimmy to the bag.
Well, and a fast runner. I mean, and looking at it on the replay, I mean, we have that advantage. And again, you could tell that he was actually out.
Well, they're not going to put it on the board because you don't replay that stuff.
No.
The stadium. No. So he's looking up in the air.
You know, they used to do that too a while back, and they stopped that. Any kind of close play, they stopped.
Yeah, that's not a good idea. Struck him out looking on a good fastball away. So out of the inning are the Phillies with a chance now to just go to the bottom of the ninth, down by 1. There's who they're going to send up against Bobby Parnell. strange play there at second base. Philly's got a huge break on that as Adrian Johnson correctly called Eric Young safe and then ruled him out. It was a double play. And here's Parnell in 31 games. He's picked it up a little bit for them lately. He has 11 saves and 14 opportunities. A guy they've looked at for a long time as a potential closer. He's kept the ball in the ballpark, obviously, with no home runs allowed. Pitched a lot lately, but they're going to go for it here tonight with him again. See what happens. A big guy, 6'4", 200-pounder out of Salisbury, North Carolina. Yeah. Fastball, breaking ball.
Now, I'm sure they called down and said, hey, can you give us an inning, or what do you think? And in games like this, when you're trying to catch up, when you're trying to do the things that you need to win, you know, you want your big guys to step up. And sure, you're a little bit tired, but you can rest during the wintertime.
I don't see the Phillies can do anything against him. Here's Chase Utley. Utley tonight in his return is 0 for 4. He's hit a couple balls hard. Parnell can throw up near 100 miles per hour in a given night. Come up with a little better breaking ball in the last few years, more of a slower one. He used to be kind of one speed, and guys really hit him hard.
Yeah, that was a good breaking ball there, a good curve ball.
Yeah, that's the one. He used to throw fastball slider with all about the same speed.
One of the things, though, Utley wants to do or needs to do against this guy, you want to make sure you're ready. You know, sometimes he gets caught up in swinging that bat. You got to want to make sure you are ready to go, like he is right now.
And he grounds it weakly to second. Murphy right there, and he throws him out, one away.
Just off the end of the bat.
And that'll bring up Michael Young. Chase had a lifetime home run off Parnell.
Yeah.
Been 2 for 6 against him. There is Jonathan Papelbon getting ready just in case. He'll probably bring him into a tie game if they could tie it up. Well, would have to be a tie game.
Yeah, yeah. And the fact is, though, I mean, at home, that's what you're supposed to do. You get to these situations here. Doesn't have to be that closing situation. That tie game will get your closer in there.
And you got no chance for a save tonight anyway, except for Parnell. Over for a strike to Michael Young, who is also 0 for 4.
Getting a steady diet of off-speed pitches, mainly that curveball and slider.
Ryan Howard waits on deck, who has 2 homers and 5 RBIs off Parnell. Misses away, 1-1. Guarding the line with David Wright at third, and the outfielders in that same prevent type defense way back. There's Ryan. David Wright trying to take a double away, give him a single in the hole. Fastball at 96. Young ahead in the count, 2-1. Off speed, got him way out in front.
Oh yeah, every time they've actually gotten or even behind on the counter in a fastball situation, which that was, they go to the off-speed pitches.
Yeah, did you say you got to get started quick on this guy?
Yeah, well, he's a hard thrower.
Grounded to third, foul. Stays alive, 2-2.
Good pitch to hit because that ball was more on the inside than breaking away from him on the outside part of the plate.
Same with the souvenir. He's thrown that curveball the last couple of years as opposed to the hard slider.
Well, the slider can get you into problems, especially if you're throwing it, you overthrow it, and you hang it.
Grounded to short. Quintanilla, 2 outs. So now it comes down to Ryan Howard. He was just locked on those 3 runs back in the second inning, and that's been it. Parnell with 11 saves, going for number 12. He has a win and 2 saves in his last 3 appearances, and hasn't allowed a run in 4 outings. Trying to add to those numbers tonight is a big guy. Big overshift for Howard with 2 outs and nobody on base, and Dominic Brown on deck.
That was the pitch. Ryan, a low ball hitter.
96 on that fastball right down the middle.
I was going to say that caught plenty of plate.
That's coming in here playing well, winning 3 out of 5 in Atlanta. And out away from another one. Ryan Howard trying to spoil that party. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs.
No, not wanting to overswing. Type of hitter, if you can just catch it, you'll go a long way.
High breaking ball there and swung and missed. 1 and 2. Went down to your final strike.
Well, you can go up, and you know how they pitch Ryan. They'll try for a high fastball or try and get something down there in the dirt.
Ooh. That was close. Took it inside. Parnell wanted it. So to Recker, the catcher, 2 and 2.
96 he threw that. Not much you can do with that pitch there. If you hit it, usually you're going to hit that one. You'll hit that one foul.
Going to go get a new bat. Breaking ball struck him out, and that'll do it. And the Phillies score 3 runs again in the game and lose, this time to the New York Mets by a score of 4-3. Their bullpen did a tremendous job, as did Hefner. Big game for Eric Young Jr. He is our Chevrolet player of the game. 2 for 4 with a double, a walk, 2 RBIs. And those 2 RBIs are W.B. Mason delivery of the game. And here it is right here when he knocks in these runs, starts to tie it up.
Well, that was clutch. 2 outs there. Solid single as it goes right there up the middle. That tied the ball game up as Eric goes on and delivers. Happy faces right there, and also for Young.
And that's our W.B. Mason delivery of the game. Eric Young delivered it. Mets win it 4-3. Back with more right after this.